What's the deal, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Next Gen 720. And guess what? We're back with another show. We should have, as always, an entertaining show today. I named today's show, Where in the Hell is PROCK77? Prayers are needed. We're going to talk about that. I'm worried about my brother, my Latino brother. I'm worried about it. We're going to talk about that in a more public setting because the intervention is needed. Came down the pipeline, right before, I think E3 is in about 2 weeks. We got some more leaks. We're going to take them with a grain of salt, but we're going to talk about them nevertheless. Like somebody may either they jumped the gun or put something out that they weren't supposed to, but we supposedly have the official leaks or official specs for Xbox Anaconda and was Maverick or Lockheart. The only thing that's most likely will change or can change are the clock speeds. As far as the hardware, what's going to go in these boxes, it looks like we have already. Like I said, as you guys come in, hit the like button. We're going to have, as always, an entertaining show, to say the least. Hey, Nath, do me a favor. While the room is filling up, if you'd be so kind, my young man, could you shout some of the guys out in the chat?
Yeah, what's going on? The Nail Bat, Dark Lord Alu, the Dark Lord Fusion, Anel Muick, Honey Elizabeth, interesting name, Marquise Godwin, Flute Man, Tip Diamond, the finest. Shout out to the finest. God damn, he's done this every fucking story there is.
Yeah, so I shouted him out in the show before last for keeping me, like you say, up to date with all the articles. My man got his finger on the trigger for real when it comes to these news. And
we need to get to find some one of these shows one day.
Yeah, man.
He's rocking with us for a minute, but Pandarmic, Marquise Goodwin again, B for Real 27, Miss Freeze, J Hart RIC. Who we got? Spiders Fella 147. Heath Stevens, the noob of games. Oh, that should be D patches. Money Loco, or Manny Loco, sorry.
Money Loco.
NYT Music.
New York Music.
New York
good,
Music.
Bro? Yeah, what's good to you, baby? All right, hold on 1 second. Yeah, all right, as they come in, shout them out. I'm putting the tags in for the show. Hold on 1 second, man. Rocket League. I'm about to be seeing everybody in real time. Like I said, as you guys come in, you be so kind to hit the like. But even my haters, man, I be having a lot of jokes. Like I said, they quote unquote, they hate on your boy, be watching the shows, but it is what it is, man. Hit that like. We got over 75 people in here, and I only got 10 likes on my side, man. Hit the like button for your boy, man. I'm here on what's it, Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July. What weekend we got going on here?
Memorial Day is the Monday.
Okay, there you go. I know it's somebody holiday. You know what I mean? Hold on a second.
Xbox Live Mike, what's good? Rate the Emperor. Faith gets no respect. Nah, you get all the respect. The Surge, what's up? Finding P-Rock.
Yeah, man.
No, but I will say Puerto Rock at least broke his silence on Twitter. He finally went on the attack on that one. So ever since this news came out, when Sony gave their official slides when they signed up with Microsoft, Puerto Rock had a meltdown in the DMs. He had a fucking meltdown. So at first in the Twitter, he was talking shit. Oh, you mean now Sony gets the power of the cloud? Microsoft lost another advantage? But in the back of the DMs, he's like, fuck you, Neth. Day and date isn't happening. That doesn't confirm day and date. Man, he was having a full-blown meltdown. And I said, Puerto Rock, that shit ain't far off. And then Sony showed you the slides, where one of them says, serving the 99 and not the 1. The future of streaming for the next generation. Next-gen games. Like, day and date is not too far away. If not, it's already basically confirmed at this point. You will be able to play God of War 2 via streaming on mobile or your TV or whatever at some point. You may not necessarily need a PS5. Maybe the day and date doesn't happen right off the bat, but one day in the future, I wouldn't be surprised. And who knows how long the wait period would even be.
I know, like I said, I'm usually not usually, but y'all be cutting up on the DMs behind the scenes. Like I said, my man P-Rock. Actually, again, shout out to my brother. Now, Puerto Rock, listen, I know you on Swiss Army time, brother, and I just seen, we follow each other on social media, and I see you out with the beautiful wife. But there's no excuse. We're supposed to have this a 101, I think Friday or either Saturday, just in giggles, know what I mean? Intervention. And I was talking to Puerto Rock. I said, hold on, man. Hey, Puerto Rock, listen, now, I ain't got friend no foe. No, my integrity is always in question. So me and people are talking, right? We talking. Hold. Ask before I get to some of the room full up, man. It's just wild shit here. I gotta release some of the DMs, man. It's only right, man. It's only right, man. It's only right, man. Y'all come in for a show. Like I said, hit the like button, man. Hit me, say, hold up. Join us live.
And, for those maybe questioning in the chat, like, why is any of this happening? You have to realize they released a chart which proved console gaming to a point is kind of niche. Out of all the competition going on between Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they make up only 25% of the market. The other 25% is PC for all the shit they talk. And 50% comes from mobile. Now, you can say mobile players aren't true players. That's fine and all. They play Candy Crush. They play the dumbest fucking games, right? But at the end of the day, these companies look at the revenue mobile brings in, and to them, that makes them real gamers. So if you can get even 100,000 of those motherfuckers, 100 million of those motherfuckers, that's a lot of fucking money coming in. Right now, PlayStation, for how much it's beating the dog shit out of the Xbox, has about, 12% of the market, and that's me giving it half of the 25? Well, I guess that's 24% if I give it that. But that's a lot. Nintendo's also killing it. Now, Microsoft, I'll give you that. They're dead last. They're getting the shit stomped out of them. And I don't think Microsoft even cares about the goddamn console war. In my opinion, Porter Rock called it. The console war really is dead, and it really did die the day Sony signed that. Well, the day Sony decided to start signing that deal. We're about a year way before it's in ink. But they already gave out the Miniram or whatever the hell that is. So that shit's probably going to happen, whether you like it or not.
Here's the thing. Now, listen now. Here's the thing. On one, again, it was Porter Rock's show, right? I don't know if he was doing 60 frames, no lag, or just going live like we do sometime. And we were talking, you know what I mean? And again, and something that was behind the scenes. Even me and Kratos was talking behind the scenes. And so it's looking kind of spooky for some Sony cats right now because the console wars, Sony done stomped the dog shit out of Microsoft. We all know this, right? 100 million to 30 million, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, you can't damage control it.
Yeah, so, but again, they make, reason why, Microsoft putting their games on, day and date, the Game Pass, because the shit ain't selling this, that, and the other, right? And again, Sony has the impressive numbers of God of War 10 million. There's no way Sony's going to do, streaming. They don't need it. You know what I mean? They're, the PlayStation 5 and 4 is thriving. And lo and behold, and I told him again, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. And this is the way, again, the industry is going. Now, people will confuse, I'm going to say this again, of me just saying, like, hey, it is what it is, and something I've saying for a while. Or even when I, tried out Google Stadia or, Project Stream, and I say, hey, this shit works. And I mean, like, not for nothing, like, it really scared the hell out of me because if it works that well, if it does work that well, that literally can replace console gaming. And what I mean by that is, again, and this is before me knowing the specs, so I'm always going to throw this out there, before, Google announced their official specs back in, March of 2019, or what's in the cloud, what they were using. I said then, and I said it loud, and I know my integrity is only in question, I was like, oh my God, this shit look better than my, the same game running on my Xbox One X and my PS4 Pro. Again, this is before me knowing the specs, and this is $400 and $500 goddamn hardware, right? I said this on air, right? So again, like, this is me just saying that, and me explaining to him, right? And also for me talking to somebody from, from one of these companies, I said to him, and he came up with his Spider-Man numbers. Spider-Man had, big numbers. I even told guys that Spider-Man was going to outsell God of War, the new God of War. I even got $50.
And it did.
I got $50 from Dirk from that, right? Shout out to Dirk, right? Then I was going to outsell that, right? And it was a huge IP, and it did, amazing numbers. But I said to him, could you imagine had they had that game on PS Now, how much money Sony would make? And he said, no, because, through the first 2-3 days, or whatever number you give, say it made $160 million. I said, but that's $160 million. But imagine that, and you only get games like that once every 3 years, right? Taking 2 or 3 years to make that game. Imagine getting that $160 million for the next 3 years overall. Basically, what I told him, right? And he said, no, they will be losing money. You don't have an incentive. I said, you look at services like EA Access or EA Origin, right? You can have access to Madden football, right? And through all the services, and you still see, again, Madden in the top 10, MP. I tried to explain it to him like that, right? So right now, my brother's down Port Authority, New York, with the Thanos and Philly gauntlet, while snapping his goddamn fingers, saying greatness awaits, man. Hey, Porter, we praying for you, brother. You got to come back home. I need this one-on-one. I need this interview.
Hey, yo. So what happened last night, man? He ain't show up last night?
I mean, listen here, man. Brother. Listen. I mind you, the brother he overseas. I called him long distance, man. I said, "Hello, is it me you're searching for?" You know what I mean? I called him. You know, he on Army. He's 6 hours ahead of me, or something. You know what I mean? So I stay. I'm up in the wee hours in the morning. He's up early in the morning. He's, you know what I mean, responsible to him. So I call. We usually converse in the morning. Now, mind, like I said, here we go to the juicy part. Hold up, bro. So I reached out to him and said, "Yo, bro, you know, because you know he hasn't been live in a couple of days, so you know I'm just checking on him as a friend should do, right? Not really to go." Maybe I was just to bug the fuck out. Like, I told you, right? But not even I told just to talk to my friend. You know what I mean, yeah. I consider my man a friend, right? A friend indeed, right? But and then he was like, "Yo, man, it's over for us, bro. You were lying. He really is like, you know, what I mean, didn't mean last of a dying breed." And even he would say, you know what I mean, we going. And this is what Puerto Rico. And when I went to talk to him on the air, I know he's going to see this. He looked at it as they want to make God of War a free-to-play game. And I said, no, that's not the case because you're still going to get those type of games. Will you still have games and services? These guys were playing one yesterday. Was there any goddamn game you guys playing, Neff?
Dauntless.
You're still going to get those games, but you're still going to get your other type of games. You know what I mean? It's just now that Sony is going to have, you know, allow people. I'm gonna put the GIF up on the screen. Give me a second. That people that might want to play that game but don't have $400 in investment to their console, you know what I mean, and still be able to play, you know, God of War. Let me say this last thing, and you can take them from there. I'm still posting them like, and they can still have access to God of War, right? And again, I say business basis. Just one thing I said, I ain't got good sense, but I got good business sense, right? A lot of the console guys are looking at this as from Sony sold 100 million consoles, right? Sony sold $100 million. I mean, 100 million consoles. They ain't got to do what Microsoft is doing, or Nintendo doesn't have to do what Microsoft is doing because the Xbox is not selling so well, right? You look at it like this, right? And this is the reason why. What's my man name? Not only he's been there for a while, said the console game in his niche, right?
Yeah.
Even Sony is looking at that $2 billion, right? So a lot of money to be made in goddamn gaming, right? You got people that don't have the funds to own multiple consoles, but would love to play God of War, right? Yep. If they can give them that, and this, I'm gonna put the GIF on the screen in a minute. The photo. It says to give you the PlayStation experience with or without a console. So guess what? You can still pay into their ecosystem, and that 90 million when they profits up, that didn't come from selling 100 million PS4s, believe it or not, right? That's money's no money in their hardware. That came from 100 million motherfuckers invested into Sony's ecosystem via the network, whether it's PS Now, whether games and services, Fortnites and the 2Ks, and that's why the profits are up so fucking much. It doesn't come from the hardware aspect of things. You know what I mean? That's what costs these companies the most fucking money. You know what I mean? Is the hardware. You got shipping, taxes, tariffs. The Foxconn plant, the South American plant, and shit is up in Canada. They can still make that money, from gaming and keep that $3 billion in their fucking pocket. And again, Moss, you know what numbers guy. Maybe and I'm listen, I always gotta throw this disclaimer out for you if they throw dog shit at my dog shit channel. I'm not saying that I am a fan of it. Or even like Thrash, when you guys are hyping this up, you guys, game. I'm not hyping it. Listen here, Thrash, we get your crazy bass back up here too. Not that I'm hyping it. I'm a realist.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's all I'm saying. What you gonna say?
I always, to that point, Z. I say weather chasers don't love to get swallowed up in the tornado. They just follow the tornado to let you know how hard it's going to hit. That's all they're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to throw two numbers out there. First and foremost, all right, let's take 3 games. Let's take Uncharted, Horizon Zero Dawn, and I believe God of War. All 3 of them may have released close within a 12 to 18 month period, right? Mm-hmm. Within that, and those 3 games made how much? They made, they sold 30 million combined. They each did 10 million. Okay, so if you take that 30 million that they sold times 60, that's 1.8 billion. That's a lot of money, right?
All right.
But imagine if because of those 3 games, they were on PS Now day and date, and people subscribed to that service over that same period of time. Guess how much money Sony would have made? 7.2 billion.
Man.
That's what Sony's looking at. Their games are getting highly revered. They're getting a lot of appraise. People are playing their games. Even me, I barely boot up my dog shit PlayStation, right? But every time a PSN Now sale come up, I'm renewing it. And they know that there's a lot of people like me, and they're going to make more money off of these streaming services for those notable PlayStation Now games. I mean, games on PlayStation Now, the PlayStation 4 and 5 games, and even the classic PlayStation 2 games. They got a shitload of those out there on there. So again, it's recognizing the business model as the success that it's going to be doesn't mean that we like it. I have questions myself about the whole fidelity thing. You know what I'm saying? But to Z's point, I think what everybody needs to do is y'all need to stop panicking, talking about cell phones and all this other crazy shit because y'all done lost y'all mind. Just understand that you're not in the boardroom with these companies. They have a different agenda. This agenda may work, but at the same time, you got to just open your mouth and raise your voice and deal with it as it is. Don't lie to yourselves and just say it's not going to be that way because, again, y'all going to be looking like that, what's it called meme? What's the coach's name from the Clippers?
Doc Rivers.
Y'all going to look like that Doc Rivers meme when they say the PlayStation Now shit's coming day and date. So it is. Y'all can't deal with this unless y'all deal with the realities of it.
But Moss, in all reality, they have no option, no choice, no decision making. Just like Xbox had no option, no choice, no decision in what was going on. It's just the way the industry is going.
Yeah, I get that, but no. I mean, here's the thing. One thing that, again, is an industry term. It's called reputational risk. Once this product comes out and it hits the market and the casuals gobble it up, that's when it's too late. But right now, they can PlayStation gamers can cause enough noise to where PlayStation backs off of this a little bit or changes it a little bit more to their liking. You know what I'm saying? They do have that voice. But I'm telling you right now, if they keep sitting there denying the reality of it and they let it hit the market, that's when it's too late. And that's where homies like my man Porter Rock, King Fresh, all of y'all got to stop denying that this is going to happen. If you really don't like this, I would reckon y'all to do what OBJ is doing. OBJ is raising his voice. Y'all need to start doing what OBJ is doing instead of denying that this shit is going to happen and try to push Sony in the box to make them do something a little different.
Hold on one second.
We fought DRM, and it's worse now than it was when they originally planned it.
Hold on one second. Hey, Post, do me a favor. Could you send me a link to those specs that you got for the Xbox? And hold up. I got a build right here. Sit here. My man Big Draco, shout out to you, Big Draco. He says Sony is following Microsoft as always, even when they're so-called losing. I don't take it as Sony following Microsoft. I take it as Sony trying to stay in business. You got to change with the times, man.
Facts, yeah.
They're trying to keep up with the trend.
Yeah, you got.
Yeah, I'm about to say this is a trend moving forward, and I remember not even Porter Rock. Sorry, Post Up's the one who called this. Remember, he was on that multiplayer podcast. They were all beating his legs and saying like, look, streaming is the next big trend in gaming." And I remember Porter Rock, for whatever reason, him, Kratos, maybe even King Thrash. I don't know about King Thrash, but I know him and Kratos especially genuinely think Sony is the gaming industry. He genuinely thinks that they are the leader of the gaming industry. They are the leader of the console industry. I'll give you that, but they are not the gaming industry.
But they're not even the leader of the
run by
console
third
industry.
party. It always has been. EA, Activision, Ubisoft. They third party. You can make fun of them, but they do run the gaming industry.
Wait.
What's up?
Not really. It started in the 360 era. Yeah, the 360 era is when third party took over.
Oh yeah, but they do run the shit.
Yeah,
third parties always look at the PlayStation 2 era. That was filled with third party games. That wasn't Sony's first party.
But here's the difference, though. Back then, if third parties said, "You know what? We're not gonna release our game on your platform," Sony could say "kick rocks," and they would come back and beg Sony to release it because they had the numbers and they had the console out there already.
Yeah.
In this day and age that we live in now, there are so many different options that you could release your product. You don't need a console. So now the consoles have to fall in line.
It's been nearly 14 years now that third party's been running shit. Like, it's been a while. And I even have this tweet here, and I told Porter Rock, all right, about the streaming things. Let's see if that evolves. I'm talking about like the whole remote play situation when that happened, because I called that shit, where that remote play shit, that was foreshadowing for them going down this road. And that's exactly what fucking happened. I don't get credit for that, but all right. I said, if it does, I'm going to need some of you guys to admit Sony isn't bigger than the entire gaming industry, like how you guys want to believe. That's my bet. Sony's going to do something very similar to xCloud / Game Pass. Oh, hold on. Let me read his reply, and then I'll let you go.
And pay the bills.
All right, let me pay the bills real quick. So, Showman with the 199. Dread it. Run from it. Destiny arrives all the same. I'm gonna make an Infinity War style trailer with Morgana Days or some shit, or we see ass kicked as Iron Man. Thomas Franks with the 399. It's all business. Sony has to follow suit. All right, and this was Porter Rock's reply to me, right? He says Sony does. Oh, hold on. The Ruham with the 999. What's good, Z? Panel, great show. Both sides need to hear this. Okay. Sony does not need to be bigger than the industry. They just want to be bigger than their competition. PSN by itself makes more money in 2018 than the entire Xbox division, the entire Nintendo corporation. Following Microsoft's lead is actually the dumbest thing Sony could do.
Wait, can I address that?
That did not age well. I sent you the DM.
But here's go ahead.
Wait, you know the crazy thing about that too? As much as they're curb stomping the shit out of Microsoft, selling crazy numbers, putting out all these high quality games, Microsoft is still making $3-4 billion. Hell, a damn near quarter, it seems like, right? So it's like no matter how much they're pushing ahead, it's like the returns aren't there to show their dominance. So it's like, what's Microsoft doing? What?
Yeah, you know what the problem is? No, it doesn't matter how much they curse on Microsoft. They can even curse on them even more, but they only control 12% of the goddamn market. That's it.
Yeah.
No matter how good they do, they only reach 12% of the market.
I'll tell you what the problem is, You got like, it's the old school gamers. They can't accept change. Like Z's kind of accepting it now,
But you also...
You gotta follow the trend. Like I said, you gotta follow the trend. Like
okay, all right. No, here's the thing. All right, here's the thing, right? And I'm gonna be realistic, right? I'm gonna step out of character. I'm gonna give you how you say. I'm gonna give you guys a mature answer here, right?
What we gonna get, Nazaya or next gen?
No, we're gonna get a piece of shit.
I'm gonna keep it funky, right? I always tell you guys, my answer depends on how the super chat is flowing, right? But anyway, I'm gonna keep it real.
I told you, you're gonna get a piece of shit.
Hey, real niggas, a bunch of fuck niggas, right? Check this shit out, right? At the end of the day, even whether OBJ, shout out to him, whoever's having an issue with this, right, or whatever the case may be, right? About now, I've seen two sides of the coins. Some people don't want Sony to put their games on PS Now, which that doesn't make any sense to me. It's cheaper for you in your pocket, whatever the case may be. They don't want them to put their games on PS Now day and date, right? And to me, that argument I don't understand. Or whatever the case may be, right? Even the whole streaming aspect, if you're still giving you a console or giving you a viable way to play, a console to play their games, I don't really see what the issue is. Now, and to be fair, and not to seem like I'm saying it like I'm a hypocrite, with the Google Stadia, again, I told you guys that it scared the hell out of me. It works, right? And I said a lot of motherfuckers here that are fussing, this, that, and the other. I know these consoles are going to be at least $500 day one. I'm not counting nobody's pockets. But if you can still play the new God or whatever the fuck the case may be, and you ain't got $500 right now, but you can still play it via streaming, and like I said, they're all predicated if it works, okay? That's what I'm saying, the big if, and you're not missing a beat, and the shit actually fucking works. No lag, no input lag, whatever the case may be. I don't really see what the issue is. You know what I mean? Not saying I'm a fan of it. It's not something that I'm going to use because I like buy console, but I'm looking at some of the, people are inboxing me and I get messages all the time and I'm reading some of this, Sony, because this is Porter Rock stance. If this takes off, and people, their game on their cell phone, it's not going to buy an Uncharted game, right? Mm-hmm. And whatever the case, I don't look at it like that. I look at it as Xbox guys on this side of the street who don't want to buy a PlayStation 4, can't afford to buy a PS4, but want to play Uncharted, right? Log into their service again and be able to play the game. Or even from the Sony side of the street, with Microsoft, what they're doing with the xCloud. You don't want to buy a $5 Xbox Anaconda, but you want to play Gears of War 6 or what's that new title from Ninja Theory? Bleeding Edge or or Fable 4 or Forza Horizon 5 and not buy a final console when you get that 1080p 60 frames a second with blazing graphics and it works, you know what I mean? A lot of folks will take advantage of that, you know what I mean? But look, I look at it like this. No, in the near future, when they said as a niche thing, as long as I can still buy the goddamn console, I'm not going to be out there screaming in the streets and yada, yada, yada.
I don't think... I don't think most of these people are gonna do it either, man. They just talk on the internet because it's easier to type. It's easy to type.
Well, here's the thing too. That I think we might be losing sight of a little bit. There's two discussions going on. Discussion one is, will this thing be successful? There's no doubt about that this thing is going to be successful. All that stuff about people not wanting to buy an Uncharted on a mobile. These services are not about selling you on a single game. They're about selling you the service. The service is, the marketing strategy will be, you can get all this AAA, top of the line games along with your favorite games as a service games just for $15 a month or $20, whatever they decide to sell. Again,
with your community and your friends.
It's not about what we, the old guard, like to do, because again, we were part of the battle for the living room. That we're the part of the old arc. Okay, if you're in the anime, motherfucker, we was part of the old arc. The new arc is follow you wherever you go. So when you sell that to this new generation, the one that is spending $300 on V-Bucks, right? You know what I'm saying, a month, that's something that's appealing to them, and that's why it'll be successful. That's discussion one. Discussion two is, what are the concerns? And I get it. There are legitimate questions that need to be answered as far as fidelity and things like that. I've practiced Google Stadia, but you know, I get those questions. But again, people cannot confuse the two conversations. This will be successful.
But you know what I think too, Moss? I think a part of it is just the idea, like it's like you have a job, right? And you went to college for 6 years, then you worked at the company for 12 years, and you worked your way up to middle management, right? Then boom, this new college guy comes out and he's sitting right next to you with the same job, making the same money. You're like, wait, hold on now, brother. What are we doing here? You know, a lot of people got that mentality, and that's why it's so hard for them to swallow, because it's like, I put the time in, and now they're just gonna change this all underneath my feet, and I don't have nothing. I don't have a say in it. I can't direct it, nothing.
Yeah, and
that is a hard pill to swallow.
Don't believe this whole thing about AAA. In AAA games, to Porter Rock's point, AAA games may not crack the top 10 of mobile. But goddamn it, mobile makes so much fucking money that you can be the top 200 and rake in hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah. I know people that make these phone games for a living, and they're grossing $8,000 a month, and their game is like in the top 1,000.
Charlie, what's up, Charlie? Shout out my man Charlie for the $10.
Yeah, let me read the chat, because Ruhan and them had something in the chat. Hold on, let me go back. All right, big up to the homie Ruhan with the $10 holla. He said, "What's good, Z? Panel, great show. Both sides need to hear this, absolutely." And the homie Charlie Gaming with the $10 said, "Bang bang."
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Look at here. I'm looking at the wait, let me fix the thing so they can see it right. Also, too, ladies and gentlemen,
what the specs?
Yeah, no, hold on, not that yet. You see that little ad just popped up on the screen? That's for me. The free messaging app. How to get ads? I mean, it's free. Send a message. You want to answer something to partner. I just hit testing. Popped up on the screen. Send us a message. I can answer it live on air. But if you look on the screen right now, what I have here. Let me go here. It says
before you move on real quick, Z, let me just say one last thing. Last thing. If you remember, like a couple months ago, right, everybody kept talking about single-player games are dead and they're too expensive to make, and AAA titles are going to be stopped and short, and less of them are going to come, and more AA titles are going to come. Well, you can look at this as a way of they're trying to continue making the AAA games with having more funding from other areas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, that's exactly what I fucking said.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
And no, shout to everybody in the chat. You be so kind again, please. I got over 200 people here watching me live. Thank you for hit the like button for your boy. It really helps the platform. And that link again, shameless plug. Send me a question live on air. Let me see if it's working. I just stress it's working for me. You can with the Heathen guy. Literally, it's free. Don't worry about it. If they ask, but your email, you're not gonna get anything. This is a verified. There's no not any spam or any Slack accounts. That ad that you like, my man Chris Zim with his cheap ass. That ad that you're afraid of you may get in your email is going to pop up here on my screen. But anyway, it says here, it said roller streaming the next generation, and I keep going back to this, right? because some of you guys may have not have seen this, and not to, he said, beat a dead dog with a stick, right? But a roller streaming the next generation, our vision, a massively enhanced PlayStation community where enriched and shared PlayStation experience can be seamlessly enjoyed independent of time and place with or without a console, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yo, what's up? Tuesday B, what's good, baby? And it's very important you can have a PlayStation experience, right? With or without the box, right? And the only way I can explain it, right? Because I know some people still don't get it, and I don't, and I'm how you say, try to break this down to you in layman's term. You know what I mean? And we ain't talking about Chinese math here, right? We have to think outside the box. Sony has to think outside the box. Even Nintendo, this tells you something, right?
Yep.
Who makes a shitload of money on their hardware. You know what I mean? But they don't make much money on their softwares and services, right? That's where the money is at, right? So that's where Nintendo has to catch up. You see, Nintendo is now in discussion to what? To bring Azure to them so they can put their games on the Azure network, right?
Make their own streaming service.
Okay, so what you guys don't understand, or whatever, you see, we're going to take like this. Microsoft is the youngest out of the three as far as being involved in the video game business, right? You got Nintendo, who's the grandfather. You got Sony, who's the father, and you got Microsoft as the son. We're going to keep it like that, right? 3 generations, 3 different, right? Nintendo's very old school. Ray, how you say? Ray, who you say strictly Old Testament. The Tanakh, the Torah, strictly meat and potatoes, right? Where do they do things? Very old school. Now you got
Nintendo's PROCK.
Yeah, there you go. You got one of the wealthiest companies. Let me see. You got probably the 5 top wealthiest companies in the world: Walmart, Verizon, Amazon, Apple. That's somebody else that I'm missing. But anyway, Google,
yeah,
are all getting into gaming. Now, there's 3 at the table. Sega took a fall back. Atari took a fall back. TurboGrafx-16 took a fall back. Neo Geo took a fall back. That's all I can remember as of now. They took a fall back, right? So, again, it's been Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony holding it down. Now, you see that the very, very impressive demonstration that Google put on. And like, we're not privy to a lot of things behind the scenes. Right after Google had that announcement, boom, Microsoft came with that little 5-second about the xCloud, right? That shook up a lot of shit. That changed the whole landscape. Before, these AAA games was tied to a box, more or less, you know what I mean? That you had to have a quote-unquote a console to play this game. Now, you had other streaming services in the past, when Gaikai and the like, but it didn't really work that well. It wasn't, an optimal console experience. But again, for those, such as myself, and I know it's not, the most honest man sometimes, a lot of my subscribers, a lot of my family borrow money, don't pay it back, right? You ain't never getting that $10 back, let me borrow.
I know.
You got. Right? So with that being said, but I'm telling you again, any good faith, like, this shit fucking work. So now you have the point. This is the only time in history that now their software is catching up with your hardware, and what the hardware can produce, can manufacture. I mean, how you say you always get a better with the actual hardware in the box and the disc, but now you have the software side of things. Now in 2019 or whatever the case may be, the technology is catching up with the hardware. So guess what? That makes Nintendo seem obsolete. Right? That makes, Sony and Microsoft, in terms of the console business, they're going to have to reform. Because us guys here that are here watching this show live here on a Sunday, that's spending out barbecuing with their family, we ain't got nothing better to do. We are the last of the fucking Mohicans.
Mohicans, facts.
And the reason why I can say from experience, because I have, I have grandchildren, believe it or not. I have, Maya's my youngest, she's 8, and she plays games, right? She don't care for what she plays it on. You know what I mean? And we're not their dedicated audience anymore, whether we like it or not. Whether we like it or not, we're not. We're not the dedicated target anymore for this business model. But hey, if you still want to go out and spend $5 on that thing, and you still cool, right? But we're going to give some other people the same experience that you're getting without paying $5 for a box, right? So pretty soon, the motherfuckers are spending $5 for these $400 or $500. We're going to seem like the sucker, because you got a motherfucker over here ain't playing shit and getting just as good as we getting. You know what I mean? And that's the sad reality. I don't even sad reality of it all. You know what I mean? So, but as far as the games, the type of games that we're getting, and this is again, we talked to somebody again as of Friday. You know what I mean? I always say you guys would be surprised to watch your shows. You're still gonna get your AAA goddamn games. That's still gonna happen. You know, they gonna still, they gonna, how you said, they still gonna penny put you to death in the games like Assassin's Creed. With how your money hacks you. You're still gonna get those games. You know what I mean? But we gotta stop looking at that. Nobody wants to buy Uncharted on a cell phone or that's not the case, man. Yes.
I'll tell you what's gonna push xCloud and Google Stadia and all other bullshit. Games like FIFA, games like Madden.
Yeah.
NBA, them are the games that are going to be pushing them, because they're proper competition games online. People love to play FIFA, not like my little brother, non-stop FIFA.
Can you imagine playing Call of Duty? Being able to play Call of Duty on your phone, right?
Battlefield. These are the type of...
That's why they're making a Call of Duty for mobile.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to make it for mobile, just like Sony made an Uncharted mobile, but that doesn't mean they're still going to get rid of the AAA experience, too.
No, they're not. But in fact, the mobile version of Call of Duty is going to inspire them to get the real Call of Duty.
Facts.
That's the idea.
Exactly.
That's the way it's going to go. That's how you get these, like I said, Uncharted 15 million, God of War 10 million, but when it comes to the FIFA games, the Call of Duty, they're hitting 25, 35 million. Mm-hmm. Them are the type of customers they want to get because they know people will play games like that on the go, and that's where it's going to start from. Trust me, games like that. Then you get the other games that come through like your Uncharted or your Gears.
Now you got a lot of people that say this ain't gonna fly because you're gonna have that clunky ass weirdo looking controller. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to do that? Let me explain something to y'all. iPega, I got it right here. Y'all hear? That's my box. I got it's something that's called the iPega Red Knight retractable controller. Now I know that sounds like some weirdo shit. But
is that from Epic? Yeah, that sounds from Epic. Did Epic make that?
It's a small ass controller that has all the analog, has all of the functions of a regular joystick or controller, and what it does is it wraps around your phone. I use it all the time because I'm testing out Steam Link in the house. Now, Steam Link only currently works in the house, but I play Metro Last Light through the house, all my Steam games through the house with no problem. It's just a retractable device. Now, if they can make some type of case like that, then that answers that problem. This is the way to go. The people like Z said, his daughter and the grandkids and everybody, they look at the console war like the 8-track war, okay? It's over. It's over for them. It's silly to limit yourself to a console when, again, everybody is on the go. That's how they think. That may not be how we think, but that's how they think. So, again, the argument over if this is going to be the norm going down the road is a silly argument. Now, an argument about whether fidelity and all the others, I can get those arguments, but this is going to be the new way in the story.
Mm-hmm. We have to ask ourselves this.
They already been conditioned.
They said they on this link. I don't know what the hell, man. It's bugging with YouTube.
That link is messed up.
It worked. Like, I'm sorry.
It works for you. But I want to say this. We have to tell ourselves this. Are we on our crap gamer shit? Are you really upset somebody else gets to play your game? Right?
I am.
Remember when the whole Quantum Break instance happened and you had meltdown on Twitter?
Hold on. I'm not upset
and this
somebody
is exactly that.
Yeah. But check this out, Ned. You know what this does? It gets rid of the whole gamer score, trophy hunt, all of that. It just makes it obsolete.
It doesn't have to.
No.
It does. Think about this, right? If you had a game, that meant you bought the game or got the game. Now it's like, okay, I spent $5 a month. Trust me, it makes it obsolete. Just like how Game Pass made achievement hunting obsolete. Because you could get 107 games, and you could just knock them out one by one. You spend an hour.
You got to put a time. You got to put a time.
I'll be honest. I don't give two fucks about achievements, so I don't even care about that.
No, I don't care either. But I'm just saying it's one of the implications that come with it.
Implication if they get a lot of games, I don't know. That's cool for them.
I feel like some people just don't want their favorite games on console because they feel like
they don't want their favorite games anywhere else. They want it to be on a specific box so they can brag about it.
It's the same thing. Like Z,
you're taking that specialty away from them. Like they're gonna feel like less important.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hey, Moss. Hey, Heath, try that link I just sent just now. See if that one works. That's the new mobile link. I refreshed it. Hold up.
I'll test it out too.
Wait, hold on.
But we have to ask ourselves, does it matter?
Hold on 1 second. Hey, Moss, try that link I just put in the XBR. Y'all try
okay.
I just put a brand new one in. See if that works. I don't know what the hell. I think it's a YouTube thing blocking it because I go on Twitch. It's not an issue. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go.
Yeah, but I mean, like, does it matter if anyone else gets to play your game? Seriously.
Hold on, Ned. Let me ask you a question, right?
What?
If everybody could buy a Porsche, would a Porsche be a special car that people want?
No, that ain't working either, Z.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, some people
I don't know
honestly
what the
feel
fuck.
special because they dedicated their life to one console.
Yeah, but even that's some weirdo shit, though.
All right,
But
but
that's-
the thing. Bro,
but
at this
hold on.
point, when I sit back, when I sit back and watch all of this shit, I'm like, I just think about like religious niggas, like how they.
I was about to say that.
Like, I'm telling you, some of these dudes literally has that same mindset. Like, they've been in it for so long, their whole entire life. All they've been talking about is PlayStation, Xbox. Now, none of that exists. It's like there's no more purpose in their life. Some people's YouTube, their fucking Twitter's built on this shit. You're taking them down by doing this.
I mean, I look at it like we're console gamers. We're always going to mainly game on our console, so it just depends on the ecosystem you like. I like the Xbox ecosystem, so I'm gonna just game on Xbox. Now, if my Xbox games hit PlayStation, that's different. That is different.
Hey, hold on. What's the most? Why that one get lost?
All right, let me try. Hold on.
And go ahead, Javon. What are you trying to say?
What happens when there's no Xbox console?
No Xbox console? Then I'm probably going to have to become a PlayStation gamer or an Amazon gamer or whatever.
Exactly. You see, most of them are looking that far ahead. They're not looking at today and saying, you know what, I got my console in front of me.
Yeah, because I know Sony isn't going anywhere. Microsoft, yeah, they probably will leave. But I'm not worried about Sony or anything.
That's what a lot of people are looking at.
A long time.
Now,
yeah, I mean, you're going to have probably, about 14 more years of Xbox? You'll be good.
I think one generation, next generation is half and half with streaming and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Is about 25% with the physical console, about 75%. Then the other generation should be just straight streaming.
Yeah, I mean, as an Xbox fan, maybe you could be worried, but other than that, I don't really see it.
No, this is what it is. As long as Xbox hits the 40-50 million, every generation, it'll be fine. They're gonna carry on making hardware.
You hold on. So you really think they're gonna make hardware just for 40 and 50 million? I highly doubt that.
Why not? It's the same with the Surface Pro.
They still get money off of that. They get the Xbox Live subscriptions. So trust me, here's what's gonna happen.
You have to drop that.
The Anaconda is going to be expensive because that was the Xbox hardware was the last piece of hardware under the Microsoft line where they take a loss on it. Satya Nadella, Nitho's uncle, said, I'm not taking a loss on hardware no more. He said that if you want premium experience, you're going to pay premium price. So the Anaconda is going to be a premium price. Yeah, you're going to pay Surface price for a console. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to make a little bit of money on the console, whether it's 50, 75, whatever. They're going to get money on the console. Then those people with the console still are going to be paying Xbox Live. Xbox Live brings in what? $3.4 billion a year or something like that. So yeah. They're going to make money. They're going to make money off the console regardless. So they're going to be invested in making the consoles too.
They're making money off us right now, MM2K. So they're not going to give it up. As long as they're selling like 40, 50 million, and they got like 70, 80 million active gold members, they're not going to give it up. Trust me. Like 40, 50 million.
If you honestly play certain games on your phone, you'd be like, damn, like I play FIFA on my phone and the graphics is up there. Like it's insane. And people don't see
that's what they said about PUBG.
Yeah, like even NBA 2K, when you play that shit on your phone, that shit looks good. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, they don't see that side of things, how phones is really improving. So Sony and Microsoft is looking at that, like, and let's be honest, most people work nowadays, everybody's moving. They got like $600, $700.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. The games you play like NBA and FIFA, are they dumbed down for the mobile?
No, it's really good. That's the thing about the game. Like, it's really good. It really runs well on my phone. It doesn't feel like it's dumbed down at all. Like,
the controllers must be a problem, though.
Well, look at PUBG.
That's when you plug in a controller or whatever.
Look at PUBG. PUBG is the cross-play mobile. It's the exact same thing, and that's running neck and neck with Fortnite as far as money being made is concerned. So this whole thing about the AAA experience can't do well on the mobile platform is just baloney.
I saw PUBG on a mobile phone that looked better than the Xbox.
Facts.
I was shocked.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah. That's baloney. And again, like I said, look it up, y'all. It's called don't judge me. It's called the Red Knight retractable controller by iPega. This thing is small as fuck. It fits around any cell phone, and you can play it without having some big ass clunky Xbox controller with you.
Listen, it's gonna be a matter of a time where you're gonna able to play a lot of AAA games on these phones. Like, because the thing is that these phones come out every year with better specs. People are willing to shell out $800 for phones. Like, they're not going to do that for a console. That's a thing they don't want to admit.
The
People
pixel density is tighter because it's a smaller screen.
Wanted to shell out $1,000.
Yeah. Some of these phone games look good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people jumping on 2K. Is like it's making so much money off phones than it is doing.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is P-Rock anyway?
I told you, man. Like Port Rock was last seen downtown.
Bring his black ass here.
And Port Authority, man, with the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet glove on, snapping his fingers, saying, "Wait, man." I'm trying to want that shit back.
He going back in time, man. He trying to destroy the servers.
He got it with a tall can, like a wino. He got that bitch snapping his fingers, and bro, we wanted it back.
Yeah, he went back in time.
Listen, hey, hold on, hey, P-Rock, man. I know you out there listening, motherfucking No Man's Land. I need that 101. Listen, hey, whatever time you told me, we probably supposed to do Friday. Know what I mean?
Here's what this is the crazy thing, bruh.
Yeah.
Remember when Google Stadia came out, or something happened, and me and Porter Rock you and Porter Rock had did a show.
Was it the same show? Okay, what happened? Yeah.
It was a I forgot what it was, but it was a while ago. And me, you, Porter Rock did a show, and we saw how the streaming thing was like starting to get a rise. And it was you were like, damn, man, this is going to change the console thing. And me and Porter Rock asked you, we were like, well, what are you so fearful of? This is before you touch Google Stadia or the beta of it.
Yeah.
And he was like, damn, man, this streaming thing is going to fuck shit up, right? And it was me and Porter Rock talking to you, like, hold on, this is just the future, man. So I don't know why Porter Rock's tripping all of a sudden, man. He was there at one point in time, man. I wish we could find those tapes.
Yeah, I think because he thinks they're going to cater at certain games like Uncharted.
Listen, I'm not going to show the conversation because I want y'all to know Porter Rock real name. But anyway, this is me. I'm going to read some. This is me and him going back and forth on Facebook. He was talking, right? I'm like, he's actually supposed to hop on MB. He was supposed to hop on the multiplayer Thursday.
Yeah,
he said he was gonna hop on, but anybody joined him. But he said,
trust me.
Look.
None of these ponies are coming for a couple of weeks. After E3, they'll come back.
He said, Porter Rock, this streaming shit won't be good for us, dog. They really want that mobile gaming one. They have dedicated to them, and we all fucked up, man. It's about to go down. I said, bro, I hope consoles don't go away. I'm placating, so I hope consoles go away, man. You're right. Hey, bro, man, we niche. I'm sorry, man. This Sony shit got me fucked up right now, man. Fuck this. I'm not renewing my PS now. I said, damn.
Oh my god.
I said, damn. So I barely play games online any motherfucking way. Fuck this.
Hey, bro, I don't know.
He said, man, fuck this. Signing out. XOXO.
Good night. Good night. Good night. God,
that's what he said. I said, I don't know, man.
Anyway, what the shit we got to talk about?
So we got E3. E3 and exactly.
Let's talk about it.
About 2 weeks away, right? About 2 weeks away, we got E3.
2 hours.
Wait, are you able to put up that picture on the screen?
Which one?
Put in your DM.
Sure.
Right,
I think that's a fitting picture we should put up on the screen.
Oh, damn.
Let me see.
Hey, Neethles ain't got no chill, bro. Neethles is the most.
Hey, speaking of that, right? I'm mad at you two. How the hell y'all gonna ask my homie some Harry Potter questions like that and just mess him up? King Thrash. How y'all gonna mess my homie with the Harry Potter questions? That was funny as that. Like when Buddy I hit him with a question.
Let me get this. The guy's delusional.
Look, damn, man. Hey, yo, y'all ain't got no clue Memorial Day. Y'all ain't got no respect for the police. No, this is the thing. King Thrash is not. No, let me take that back. This is what King Thrash did. King Thrash came up with an idea that is vaguely plausible. But he wants you to take his vaguely plausible idea and swipe out all the facts that you know, and he wants everything to be considered a theory. It don't work like that, bruh. The two CEOs came out and said that they're doing this mainly for gaming. Is it plausible that Satya said to what's it called, or somebody said to somebody, hey, y'all got superconductors, we could probably make some phones 15, 20 years from now? That's plausible. That probably came up in the discussion. But to think all of this shit is about some fucking phones, and that this is some conspiracy theory area 52 shit, whatever they call it. No, man, no. This is about games. Sony recognizes that they got to penetrate that 75% market. They realize that Microsoft has been lobbying us to work with us and be our friends now and play hopscotch with us. Let's play hopscotch with them. Fuck it. That's basically what it is. Period.
And no, with the $2, and this is for you, Moss. Crossplay is the future. Epic is good for gaming. All right.
Hey, yo, Noah can have an anthrax sandwich.
I know, but speaking about Epic, though, no, that Dauntless crossplay works flawlessly because of Epic. Just saying. And look at that picture right there. Look at that shit. They take the PS4, they cross that shit out, and put a motherfucker there with the phone. And you really are in denial about it?
Yeah.
God damn.
God damn.
Wait, hold on. I'm making it better.
Oh shit!
Wait, that's the official.
That's the official slide.
No,
actually, is that the official slide? I want to catch you on that one.
Nothing is not official. Tell me now. Tell me.
You know what? Moss, is it official? I don't want to catch you on this one.
I don't know, man. I'm just fucking with y'all. I don't know.
Okay, anyway,
that might not be.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
But
shit, that's crazy, bro.
Anyway,
but again, man.
But no, put up the Porter Rock picture.
Yeah, but
it's the same picture.
Yeah,
no, he got another picture under that. This is horrible,
I thought it was the same picture. Oh, so hold on. Yeah, I'm about to get.
Yeah, but why he's putting that up? Like I said, man, it's again 2 discussions to be had. But right now, we're to deny the success of this. There's too many numbers floating out there that show you that it is going to be a success. Now, again, are any of them giving up the console right now? No, they can't. Again, there's too much money being made off of these Xbox Live and these PlayStation PSN Plus services. So you have that as a saving grace. But again, y'all just gotta get with the reality of things.
There's also too many unknowns, Moss. They haven't sold us on anything. They haven't told us how things are gonna work. You know, there's too many unknowns right now. I think we need to wait at least until maybe next 2 E3s if they feel like bold enough to come out and say it, or maybe midway next gen when they start pushing it harder.
Yeah.
Well, Z's tried Project Stream anyway, and that's what
I've tried it too.
He said five stages of fanboy grief: 1 denial, 2 anger. People ready to report the person 5 or 7.
And right now he's at number 4. I think he's at number 4. With regards to streaming.
Oh man, people
he's on number 4. I'm not renewing my PSN. Fuck online.
Yeah, he said sign XO.
Golly, bro.
Yeah, the tips thing don't work again. Hey, bro, listen, it ain't my fault, Lou. I don't know. I think it's a YouTube situation with that link because they work directly on Twitch. You know what I mean? But moving like I said right along, we got E3's less than about 2 weeks away. So of course we get leaks, more leaks. Some are fabricated, some are just theories. So again, getting back to Microsoft, and we're going to talk about their leaks and their consoles.
Z, what's your take on the time? 2 hours.
Here's the thing. Listen. I don't get excited about the time. You know why I don't get excited about the time? Because it can be 30 minutes spent on indies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
30 minutes, 45 minutes spent on multiplayer. You got to realize EA's not going to be there. So whatever EA was going to show, you know, whether it's DLC for Anthem or, of course, I am excited about their new Star Wars game. We're gonna see all that on
Fight Night.
Yeah, fight. No, I gotta get Fight Night. But whatever FIFA, whatever Madden, whatever NBA Live, all that shit is gonna be shown on Microsoft stage. So again, I'm not really impressed by the time. You know what I mean?
But it's still be a good show, though, Z.
Well, now here's the thing.
As a gamer, I'm
gonna be honest, right? I didn't say gaming is it's a very selfish hobby, right? As far as Microsoft's E3s. I'm not saying the last show was bad, right? But I'm tuning into this show. I know the multiplats is cool, but it's to see their exclusive software. You know, their quote unquote their identity, because again, I can get those multiplats on Google Stadia. You know what I mean? So, and again, I'm not saying, the games, multiplayer. I'm not saying multiplayer is not important. But the reason why I'm, looking forward to E3 to see what the fuck Microsoft got going on for the future. Or is it still Gears of Forza and Halo? That's me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, even like I said last E3, not saying their show was bad. They had a pretty decent show, but I still didn't get anything but Gears of Forza and Halo. So that's my issue, and it's always been more or less my issue since 2016, because we haven't had a game announcement since 2016. So again,
but Z, you should be excited.
Why?
Rumor has it, Fable coming back.
Okay, we want to talk about it right now. So rumor has it again, Fable. We're gonna supposed to be see Fable. Cool, Fable. The reboot for Fable. The game, a Perfect Dark Zero third-person action adventure, more mature, type game. Bleeding Edge from Ninja Theory, supposed to be a co-op game. Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 8, and I'm missing one. Ori and the Blind Forest 2.
Gears 5.
Gears 5, Battletoads. As far as exclusive software, am I missing one? Or did I get
I think the Gears Tactics.
I don't give. That's PC, ain't it? I don't give
That's
that.
well, that's a bit. That's
yeah.
Let's leave that to the side for now.
Yeah, but you're also gonna supposed to show Age of Origins for consoles. I don't give a fuck about that either. So
So Z,
yes.
so the games you just mentioned there, would that be enough for you? Perfect Dark, Fable. What was the other one? Bleeding Edge. I'm not sure about that one.
But again, it would mean I'm gonna shut down with you guys, but get you guys' opinion. Depends on how they look. Of course, I never really care for any of the other Perfect Darks. So I hope this one is dope. Hope it's something like not like Uncharted, but I hope it's something like that. Those type of visuals and you remember when Microsoft's first E3 with the Xbox One was E3 2013 and they showed Shanghai Heights. I hope we got some type of graphics like that or something. Like to me, that's dope, and that I would be excited for that. Yeah, you know what I mean.
But now, Z, you mentioned many times Fable's one of your favorite games.
Yes, sir.
Favorite franchise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of faith in Playground Games making a new Fable?
I'm be honest with you. All they have to do, in my opinion, is take the assets that they had from Fable Legends. I liked it. Just remove the aspect of someone being the bad guy and controlling that shit. It was stupid. Keep the combat that they had. To me, that shit was over the top. Was dope to me. Enhance it a little bit and get some. Probably won't take much to add a story to the motherfucker. Yeah, but I guess.
Hey man, I agree with you on that. That graphics was crazy, especially after they did the update right before they canceled it.
Yeah, it was sick. So they can keep the. I don't know what engine. What engine were they using? Was it Unreal Engine 4?
I don't even remember. It probably was. That's all they used.
Yeah, but whatever the case may be, so they can, if they do, unless they started from scratch, I want to see what they take it for as the visuals. I wouldn't mind seeing Fable. Now here it is. I know it's kind of whimsical and stuff, like a more mature Zelda type game, but I wouldn't mind seeing it like something like The Witcher, or Dragon Age Origins, something more mature looking like that. That'd be a step in the right direction. I mean, not saying, but that'd be something new, something different. You know what I mean?
Then it wouldn't be Fable.
I mean, what you mean Fable?
Man, Fable's dog shit. They need to do something.
Bruh, trust me.
Make it more like Witcher.
Fable was just like that. Fable was a mature Zelda, just like most action RPGs
are. I'm talking about the art style.
Yeah, the art style. I mean, they can make it mature. I just want them to bring back like the British humor. That was one of the things that made it different.
Let me say this.
I don't even care about that.
Z, them pictures that we saw, right?
Okay.
I ain't want to spill too much. Remember them pictures we saw?
I forgot about them. Yeah.
Playgrounds. If the new Fable's gonna look like that, trust me,
concepts,
Jay, you gonna say fuck a British humor, bruh. I hope that's what the new Fable look like.
You have to understand the origin of this Fable. Remember, Playground Games wasn't making Fable off the bat; they were making their own version of The Witcher 3, and then it became Fable.
Yeah.
No, do you want like them concept arts? They look amazing.
Yeah,
I forgot about those concept arts.
Bruh, if Fable, hey, look, I'm telling y'all right now, if they show y'all a little bit of this Fable, and then this Fable looks like this concept art that we saw, motherfuckers, ponies it's Suicide Watch. It's going to be David. It's going to be not David Koresh. What you call that? It's going to be Jim Jones all over again, man.
But wait, Z.
Ponies is going to take their own lives if Fable look like this, man. This was some real deal Holyfield shit, man.
Z, didn't you say something like
they're not gonna show the next gen games or something because the difference in graphic fidelity is too much?
Oh man, fuck that. They need to do that
Fuck
now.
it.
I didn't say
Just
that.
go
That's
full
why I
out.
heard you say that.
No.
shit.
Well,
No, I said no.
but they
I know.
better not do that.
No. I mean, no. I mean, they got to hype up. The next generation is next year. You know, and no matter what Sony do, they're gonna automatically give them the crap. You know, I mean, the praise. You know, that little tech demo that got leaked. Those 8.8 seconds of the hard drive thing. Motherfuckers beating their chest about that. If they got some next generation shit to show, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Show
Go for
it.
it.
You know, but here's the problem.
You got to start the hype.
Yeah, you gotta get motherfuckers, you know, excited. You know what I mean? And this generation.
You already teased the next generation just last E3, so you gotta do that. Apparently, they didn't show Halo Infinite because it looked too good. That's the dumbest thing I fucking heard of. But they better show it off here. Anyways, also, Moss, I'm gonna tell you right now. I hope that Fable looks like that concept art, or else they're about to clown your ass.
No, I just said if it does.
Clown your ass.
I didn't. Hey, look, I'm not nothing against Z's favorite game. I was never a big Fable person.
Dog shit.
But if this Fable looks like this, I'm letting you know right now. This is some shit that, you know, you tell them, Z. This is some shit that looks atypical or non-typical of anything this Phil Spencer regime has done. This looked like the Xbox of old on steroids. I hope it looks like this.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, like I said, but like I said, even more than just that, right? Like I said, even to see what Ninja Theory's working on, right? Whatever, you know what I mean?
But Z, the Bleeding Edge. Is it a B team or is it an A team? The guys who've been
that company's been so goddamn small. I don't even think they had A, B, or C teams. There's little goddamn company. If anything,
they did.
Yeah, they added more talent. They added more.
The B team's the one who did Hellblade.
Yeah, I don't know, but they added.
The A team was the one who was working on this the whole time.
Yeah, okay.
But are you sure?
I don't know. I don't care. As long as it's a good game. I don't care what team did it. Whether the A, B, you know what I mean. They got some money. They got a motherfucker behind them. Microsoft, you know, hope you know. Putting the money into it so they ain't got to go cheap with the goddamn game. Like, listen, visually, Hellblade was astonishing, you know what I mean? The concept of it, but it was way, to me, dull. Wasn't enough combat for me, you know what I mean?
A lot of walking,
A lot of walking, the sounds, all that shit was top notch, but I ain't do much fighting. You know,
there was no, you know what that was like? That was like a walking simulator, but they sprinkled in a little action just to keep you entertained in between the walk.
Literally, it was a walking fucking simulator. You know what I mean? So that was my issue as far as with that. Gears of War 5, I don't have any issues with. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But the juicy part, like I said, as far as the next generation's consoles, you got the Lockhart and the Anaconda, right? Now, I'm not much really of a spec guy, and hold up, let me bring this up here. What they supposedly leaked before E3. Hold on, let me see right quick. Let me bring it up. Where the hell is the link? I was supposed to send me the link, but I got this thing right here. Hold up. Podcasting. Let me go. Bam. All right, this is what they're saying for the Xbox Infinite / Anaconda. Die 352 whatever the fuck that means. GPU. Everybody talking about the T-flops. This is supposed to be a 11.1 T-flop machine. Detail 64 computing units. 8 are disabled. 56 are active. 1548 megahertz. Get down to the CPU. 8 cores, 16 threads. 3.3 gigahertz. Detail Zen 2. Memory. They got posted. Goddamn. Memory. 24 gigabytes of GDDR6. 4 gigabytes of DDR4. Details as far as their answer to Sony's proprietary SSD technology they're working on. They're using the Samsung something clock at 3300 megahertz at 13.2 gigabytes, 12 chips, 384-bit, 634 gigabytes per second. Whatever the fuck that supposed to mean. 24 gigabytes of DDR developers.
Just transfer speed, isn't it?
Yeah, but get down to the juicy part. So 24 gigabytes of DD4.6 is available for developers. 3 gigabytes of DD4 is dedicated to the OS. 1 gigabyte of the DD4 is dedicated to the SSD drive, right? So so the development 3 gigabytes of DDR4 is for the OS and shit you can do in the background. 1 gigabyte is dedicated for the SSD. Storage, they're using a 256 SSD, 2 terabyte hard drive. So what they're saying is that we won't have access to the SSD. That's for the developers for the games to boot. whatever the fuck the case may be. We're going to be stable, and it's going to come with an internal 2 terabyte drive that's replaceable, and an external drive works too. So they still.
And you got a bill, Z.
Let me read Harry Heck's comment, because again, we're not having 2 separate discussions like we should. So Harry Heck with the $50. I don't know what the hell that is. Why cheer about streaming games? I thought we was less for bad games, more dedicated servers. No DRM and same games in here. Cheer over streaming games. Now we can hop back on it. I just got to say, Harry, that's not the conversation we're having. Again, I'm gonna use the tornado chaser analogy. A tornado chaser don't want to get caught up in the eye of the fucking storm. They're just there, letting you know what's coming and how much damage it's doing. Us reporting this information doesn't mean that we're in favor of it. Everybody here on this panel is going to get dedicated top of the line consoles. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So because of that, we're just letting you know that don't believe the naysayers that say that this ain't going nowhere. This is the strategy. Everyone's doubling down on it. This will lead to the future. That's all we're saying.
And again, just because of me myself, and I'm gonna go back to these consoles. I'm not just because you don't see me condemning it. Not saying I'm a fan of it. I've always said, again, Harry, shout out to you, good brother. Real nigga to a fuck nigga. I said, you know what I mean, the scary part of the aspect of it that it works. You know what I mean? And again, even if this thing to go off to be successful to the masses, it has to be if it works. And if it's just a glimpse into the future, because shit's only going to get better. What I tried in the beta, the Google Stadia thing or Project Stream, if that's just an inkling to what's to come on the horizons, I think that this may be the last or maybe one generation of far as consoles. There will literally be no need, even for gaming PCs. I'm keeping it all the way a buck. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers will always have computers, but if motherfuckers give you the power of 12, 25 Titans in the cloud, no lag, no input, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers ain't going out buying bad enough motherfuckers on PC already barely running 1080p 60. You see the shit they released from fucking Steam. I'm just saying, like, motherfuckers talk that big bake, take little bake, but they ain't got it. Now, again, disclaimer, don't want consoles to go anywhere. I love consoles. I love partaking in the console war. But even next generation, I'm going to have to change my argument up and say, hey, man, my service is better than yours, fucking nigga, what? How many subscribers you got over there? You know what I mean? Like, the whole shit gonna change, bro. You know what I mean?
Hey, don't doubt it. Don't have that argument, bro.
Yeah,
don't doubt it.
That's all that I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like,
my lag is less than yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, but hold on. I don't have. This is a printout. He just right cut and pasted for me.
So Z-Dem specs you talked about, what was it for? The Lockhart? Or
hold on. Let me go back here. I don't know.
I think he said that was for the Lockhart because
this is the Anaconda. This is the big dog.
Yeah, well, sorry, Anaconda.
Yeah.
So that's possible a dev kit then.
I don't know, but it's saying here, as far as the GPU, as far as T-flops, we all just know what how many T-flops. That was the talk. I can stick to that. This is supposed to be 11.1 teraflops, and this is going to be a $500 console. It's going to have a super fast SSD drive with that's going to be available for the developers. We're not going to have access to this. You know what I mean? This is just strictly for the developers, right? It's going to come with a 2 terabyte internal hard drive and a external. You can use, of course, you can use whatever memory you want on an external. You know what I mean? It's so much about the LS and this, that, and the other. And actually, you know what, Moss? Because I can barely see it. Moss.
Yep.
Do me a favor. Hold on. One of you guys read from where it says memory down for me. You see it? You know what's that? Where I'm getting this from? Yeah. It's in the podcast symbol.
Let me see here. Hold on 1 second. Let me go. Is it in the DM?
It's in podcast symbol.
Yeah, the podcaster's one.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to bring it up on the screen here. Hold up. Copy. Let's scroll up. It's right there. It ain't many in there.
Right. Man, Z, what kind of
okay,
game?
I see it. All right. So, Okay, so the Xbox Infinite Anaconda, the die is going to be on the 35.2 millimeter. The hashtag up to, I don't know what that's going to be. GPU is going to be 11.1 teraflops. Detail 64 CU, 8 disabled, 56 active. All right, blah 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 blah. It's going to have 8 cores. The memory is going to be 24 gigabytes. GDDR6 4 gigabyte of DDR4 RAM. It's going to have a detailed Samsung clocked at 3300 megahertz. Golly, 13.2 gigabyte, 12 chips, 384-bit, 634 gigabytes. Blah 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 blah. All right, storage, 256 gigabyte NVMe SSD, 2 terabyte HDD drive. Hey, can I stop for a second?
Yeah,
there?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So
That's the one on the memory on the motherboard, right?
I don't.
What the fuck does any of this mean, man? I don't get.
That's gonna be like more of a float.
Nah,
He gonna
man.
explain it to you. The memory is the one that's basically like, you know how when you look at your RAM stack when you buy a PC.
What the fuck's a RAM
That's how-
stack?
When you buy a
You
PC,
do that
like,
tech wizard shit, man. I don't get any
no,
of
it's
it.
not about. Okay. Look, simple. When you buy your PC, right, and you're switching out your RAM, you know how the little RAM stick looks.
No.
You don't know, it's a green board with the
bro, you have to explain this for me and the audience, man. We don't understand the fuck you saying.
Alright, what I'm saying is,
Man, that's
here's
just
a good
complicated.
example.
How
Like if you
powerful
buy
is it?
RAM, it
Is
does.
this
It
twice
doesn't.
my ex?
I don't know about
yeah,
twice.
it
It depends. It depends too, because rumor has it that AMD came up with a new way of building their GPUs, whereas they could basically allow you to push more triangles without, let's say, pushing more T-flops. So like you could get more out of it without it. That's what Roger Cordero was working on before he left, a way of doubling the power without actually doubling the power.
Okay. Here's the thing, right? Well, are you talking about as far as the storage? Then what you talking about, man? When you say
I was the storage, like the 256 gigabyte. Even though that solid state drive, I mean, these games now are going to be 100 gigabyte games. So I can't see the purpose of having 256 gigabyte unless that's only going to be for running the software. You know what I'm saying?
It says here, of course, it says the player doesn't play. It says right after it says players don't have access.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
players don't have access to the SSD. That's only for the developers. I guess for the games to boot off. And I guess the games are going to boot off that.
Hey,
and
bro.
Run off the, I guess.
I hope that ain't true because I hope that ain't true because Sony specs. I think
but does it not have a solid state drive?
Off a solid state drive. And so if this is true and the gamers are only getting a 2 terabyte regular hard drive or a 750 RPM drive, that's going to suck. That's going to be a loser.
Wait, hold on, Moss. I heard that though, right? The way they did their memory system was. The memory system was going to be set up in a way where you could save your games, but it was going to have a separate memory for games that you play regularly, which would boot up faster than the other games.
That sounds complicated as hell.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
There's a lot of theories coming out. That's why they got to explain.
But you can't, even with a GDDR6 RAM, you're not going to be able to compensate for an NVE SSD that's similar to what Sony said they're going to do. You're not going to get that fast boot shit nowhere near it by trying to overcompete with your memory. So that would be an L.
Listen, hold on a second, Sean. I think they explain it right here. Read down. It says players don't have.
Players don't have access to the SSD. The 2 terabyte drive is replaceable. An external drive works too. The OS manages the SSD for caching. Microsoft is using machine learning algorithms for analyzing games while they're being played on the development kit. The algorithm keeps track of what blocks are being used and what blocks are most likely to be used next while developers are playing the games for thousands of hours. The operating system keeps the SSD only relevant blocks to the last known position. For example, if the player is in level 3, the operating system won't load to level 6 to the SSD. Okay, so anyways, they're just saying that they're using a lot of technology to try to overcompensate speed that you would normally get, from an SSD boot.
Yeah, I don't know about this shit.
This is
honestly, bro. That shit is not gonna work out.
No. This is the new ES RAM right here. They go.
I know what they're trying to do.
Yeah, this is their ES RAM moment.
No, but I've talked about this before. No, Neff, do you remember I was talking about Microsoft has hired people to learn how to make the games faster with their hard drives and all that bullshit techniques? Maybe something to do with this.
It says here,
but I just don't think it'll work as well as an SSD.
Really relying on the SSD though. That's
an SSD would overpower this.
It's not affecting the speed. It's just affecting What they're trying to do,
but if it works,
it's not complicated for no reason. People don't care. Like, you shouldn't do that to try to monitor what games they play the most to make sure that that load up, because it's like
it says here.
Yeah, but like the way they're trying to save money, I don't know, man.
it's saving money.
I get it, but I get it, and it's not rapid. Well, not rapid packing. Whatever they're doing to it's something that they're starting to implement now. Remember how they were talking about this inside Xbox,
the Game Pass.
But again, in order for there is nothing that compares to being able to install a game on a solid state drive.
And boot up.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing that can compensate for that. So if Sony's coming out with a solid state drive boot up type system, and Microsoft tries all this rapid pack,
here's the thing.
Microsoft should have went with the $600 price tag to be real.
Wait, hold. I'm gonna keep real. I talked about
this. Like they give you the option to get your own solid state if you want. They're just not gonna.
Here, listen. Now, I talked about this on one of the other dog shows we did, right? And I said that Sony, and this is the problem I had with Sony with them patenting their technology for their own. Because the thing, when it comes to Sony with their own proprietary hardware, whether they're memory cards, and that's for the Vita and the PSP, very costly. You know what I mean? So if Sony's going to give us this SSD, whatever technology is, and something proprietary to them, something they did, you know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be no more than a 500 gig one, right? Just say for just in giggles, right? How much are they going to charge for an external one?
I don't think.
You understand what I'm saying? Let's say they give you this for just in giggles. Say if Sony gives us a 1 terabyte, the super
I'm
fast
going with 1 terabyte.
Okay, let's say they give us a super fast 1 terabyte SSD technology, which I don't think so. If it's something they just made up and brand new, it's going to be 500 gigs. But just say it is 500 gigs. How much are they going to excel an external one to plug into your USB port? How much is that going to cost?
Well, hold on. Did Sony actually say when they released their specs that their SSD was going to be external? I thought it was
no. I say it's no. He's not saying this external. He's saying like, what if you want to get extra memory?
Yeah, so buy it. And it is Sony's proprietary. Remember, I'll give you an example. Remember when the 360 came out? When the 360 came out, and you had they were selling $100 for a 20 gig fucking hard, or they click on top of that motherfucker, extremely costly. I wonder what Sony's is going to charge.
I think the way Mark Cerny explained it is that their SSD is part of the board like a normal.
No. Let me explain this.
Hear me?
What he's saying is, right, like how we have our Xboxes now, right, and we buy an external hard drive, right?
Yeah.
He's saying, well, if Sony is proprietary to their technology, how much are they going to sell those external?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, no. I think we're mixing apples and oranges. Sony's proprietary solid state drive technology is going to be on board. Whatever solid state drive that you want to add to the PlayStation 4, you can still get it. But to get that super fast one, I think they're talking about what's going to be on the board.
Okay.
So basically, you have to load the games you want to play.
Let me go in detail real quick.
All right,
hear me?
Yeah, we know.
It uses the PCIe slot.
Yeah.
Same slot you put on your graphic card and on your computer. It's like it gives you the most bandwidth, so
I get that.
You get the fastest speed to the NVMe. It's almost like having memory on the board.
Okay.
I mean the hard drive space on the board, but 56 gigabytes sounds about right because a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD drive is like $500 today.
Okay, so this goes to what I'm saying here, right? At the end of the day, and I think I love technology, right? Even we all know that SSDs now drives are expensive. It is what it is, right? 1 terabyte about 150. What I'm saying is traditionally, I understand about Sony doing it and it's tied into their motherboard, but this is a business, right? And that is the selling point or one of the things they're going to be bragging about, right? If that is the case, I know that Sony is going to, if it's something that just patent to the PS5, they're also going to sell it so you can buy it in stores. They're going to make money off it, right? Or even, license now to other people, whatever the fuck the case. But this is something supposed to be built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5. And I'm just saying, this for shits and giggles, just say if it comes with a 500 gig, right? More or less, it is what it is, to cut down on cost, right? And externally, I'm saying how much are they going to be? I just hope this shit don't be like no $200 for fucking another 500 gigs, which ain't shit.
I don't think they're gonna even do that, Z. They're gonna make it so that you transfer your games in between the two of them, probably.
Yeah, that
it's the same like
It's going to be
that's what
hot
they're gonna do, it's
swappable.
probably
That's what it is.
it's probably
Oh
gonna be the
shit!
same.
He came out of the stables.
Wait,
Just to see it.
what do you mean hot swappable? Now these games,
You're gonna have to
release 100
switch.
games. At least
Let me,
switch
let me tell
between
you,
the
right?
hard
Okay.
drives.
The fastest memory you have in your system is your video RAM. You need that for very high speed
got
data
that.
transfer.
Got that.
And then the second medium is your system RAM.
You got it.
Oh, okay. So then the third one, that would be your hard drive, whether it's a SSD, whether it's
I got that.
a standard platter drive or whatever. So you have all this data coming from the slower side that needs to be put on the faster lane to get all the way to where it needs to be. All right, so that's what that is. So technically, they could have a 2 terabyte hard drive in the system, but they can have a SSD that, let's say, have 16, 20, 32 gigs of this very fast SSD drive. So anytime you boot a game up, it takes all the stuff that you need, right, from the slower drive, dump it on the very fast drive where data can go, before let's say the very fast SSD drive that they're going to have in there that's proprietary to Sony could operate on the memory back and forth, because that memory is going to be shared with the video memory.
Okay.
So you're just swapping from a slower, faster memory to a extremely faster
But I
memory.
think what
for your
Z
video
is
output.
asking is that technology going to apply to some type of Sony patented external drive? And I don't think so, because with an external drive, you're losing a lot of power and speed anyway. Anything external, anything that's not on the board, you're not going to get that same type of performance.
But here's the thing,
There's
though,
two things they could do, Z, to cut down on price, right?
Okay.
They could require that if you do use an external drive, a USB 3, USB
3.1
type drive or whatever, that one, it's a SSD or it has some kind of classification. I don't know if you guys know about video camcorders or 4K cameras or something like that, but the SD drive requires a class 10 or above in order to have the certain speed that has to go back and forth, right? In order for you to have 4K capability, it has to be a class 10 or above card.
Okay.
You can't go with the slower one. So maybe there's a requirement there. You can go out and put your own drive, but it has to have this type of classification.
I get that, but this is what I'm questioning. This is the questioning, right? All right, I'm just giving Sony's track record, right?
Yeah.
And to be honest, one of the things that plagued the Vita and the PSP, right, were the cost of their own proprietary cards for the systems, right? Now, again, this is a business. Sony is more or less known for being a hardware company. They're making things. Again, according to them, this is something they patent strictly made. It's brand new, never been done before. Their own patent boot up whatever the fuck SSD, their own variant of that, right? Super hyper fast is that the other, right? Now, and again, the costing, whatever it costs, the R&D, whatever, for just the fact that it is mine, Sony, we did it. It is what it is. This is a business, right? Now, that's going to read super duper fast. Now, just say for shits and giggles, I don't think that's going to be no more than 500 gigs, but I could be wrong about that, right? Maybe say it's 1 terabyte. Even we all know that even into now, getting 1 terabyte was a lot when the consoles first came out, but even now, you save about 10 games, up to 9 games, that 1 terabyte is out of there. You understand what I'm saying? Games are 100 gigs and with maps and DLCs updating. I mean, so at a minimum, even next generation, you know what I mean? We talking about shit being native 4K. I don't see them being smaller than fucking 100 goddamn gigs, right? So you're gonna need external this. Now there's something, and now again, there's something that Sony. What I'm asking is something that Sony's proprietary, and maybe I understand that things have to be plugged into the motherboard. Maybe this is the way the system is. You flop shit down in the back and you plug it in or whatever the case, and it maybe connects directly to the motherboard, and that's how you can read it. Like, we don't know. We haven't seen the console yet. I'm just saying, I just hope that Sony doesn't pistol whip us for the cost of these damn, external hard drive. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? If they talk about special sauce, whatever, secret sauce, and something depending, I don't see. You know what I mean? And to me, that just doesn't match up. I'm gonna have a slower external one than a super duper fast internal one. You know what I mean? Like, that I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? It's a question.
Basically saying the drives I want it to be compatible.
Yeah, like I don't, whatever. That's my quote. But even going back to, you in podcasts with some of these rumored specs for the Xbox Anaconda, right? And it says here that developers have some control of what is stored on the SSD by marketing a block proprietary level if they wish to do so. If a player hasn't touched the game for a while, if necessary, its memory snapshot and or data will get dumped from the SSD. Vapor chain of cooling, external media drive, Blu-ray optional drive. Now they talking about this now. Rumored has they have it coming up 2 versions of this. One with a drive, one without a drive. External media drive. They saying Blu-ray optional drive, priced at $500. And they said Xbox Lockheart. Basically, I'm gonna get fuck all the man dies. It says here 4.98 T-flops. I'm gonna round this bitch up to 5 T-flops, right? 40 CU, 4 is disabled, 36 active, 8 cores, 16 threads at 3.3 gigahertz. A memory 18 gigabytes, GDR6, and 4 gigabytes of DDR4. Gen 2, I guess it's going to be a souped up Xbox One X. Less T-flop on the T-flop side, but a beefier CPU, much faster. You would just bring us in doing more with less. But
Z,
yeah.
Wow. Let me look. Okay, with those specs with the Lockhart, right?
And then, yeah, that's the small one. That's the smaller one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why would you even have that system? All you got to do is use the X. If the X, listen, if the X is going to be more powerful, GPU wise, why? It just doesn't make sense. Why are they even making that system? Who are their target audience with that particular?
It's 1080p, but they got the CPU that's leaps and bounds ahead of the X's CPU. So, I guess in their terms, it might. You know, even
we in a teraflop war, right?
Oh shit!
So
somebody
there's 2 models.
Talk this shit, Kratos.
Xbox One Pro that's not really helping the situation.
Yeah, but Kratos, the idea is to have 2 models. Like, one's a weaker model that's cheaper than the PS5. One's the equivalent or more expensive.
The X needs to be the cheaper model. That's why I'm
about to get live.
Yo, what's
about to get live. Y'all hit this goddamn like button.
I don't know. We got
what is the CPU not doing? What is the CPU not doing now that it'll be capable of doing?
Well, let me get it real quick.
Wait. If you're targeting 1080p with that next Lockhart system, shit, the X technically can do 1080p.
But hold on, Kratos.
Those specs don't add up. Those specs don't add up.
Hold on.
The teraflops are off too.
Hold on a second, post up. Hold on. Remember though, AMD has a new chipset out, so it might not necessarily be that it's not as powerful as the X because the T-flops say 4.4, but it delivers it differently. Because remember, they're moving into a whole new architecture now, so 4.4 T-flop might give you the same performance as a 6 T-flop console.
And I saw somebody in the chat put in PCI E4.0. The PS5 won't be using that. This is a totally type of new SSD they're using. They swapped out the DRAM on it and replaced it with SRAM, which is much faster than DRAM. They added a CPU, and they're using a different cache controller too. They added a CPU to the board too as well. So yeah, this what they're doing with the SSD. The computers, regular computers won't be able to do because in terms of the file tables and stuff, and by computers having different operating system, they won't be able to go outside of the security parameter and tell the hard drive, say, look, this is what to look for in this case, especially when it comes to the file tables. PC manufacturers, they can't do that because of security. They can't, in the different operating systems, they can't guess what other people are going to do or what they're going to be using at one time.
The FBI's going to have to step in on this one too?
No, I'm just saying.
PS2 all over again?
Sony is, I'm just saying though, Sony is doing something real special with their SSD, and I hope at some point in the future the tech that they just patented can triculate over into the PC, because what they're doing though is this is something totally new. You would think they was using PCIe, but they're not. This is something totally different.
God damn, don't let Saddam get a hold of that shit, man.
Hey, post up. You think there's a new compression type system they have that'll take something that's compressed? They can compress it even more, meaning they can get double the space off of what they would normally do. I mean, I don't know, because like Z was saying, they would have to come up with at least a minimum of about 2 terabyte for actual SSD storage for these next generation games. Because remember, they're going to be trying to target.
Well, the SRAM is uses lower latency than the.
Well, yeah, but SRAM, right? Remember,
and
SRAM,
the higher it got higher.
ever since SRAM first came out back in the 386, 486 days. It's always been used in small amounts because it's so expensive.
All right,
I don't see them using more than let's say a couple of megabytes, not gigabytes, but megabytes of this RAM. Just like the Xbox, the OG Xbox One has SRAM in it, but is such a small amount because the cost, right?
Yeah,
you don't need a large amount of it because it speeds everything that dumps on it up like 10 times faster.
But Jay, to that point, let me ask you this question: but isn't Sony's method of doing this, they're allowing the games to be stored on their SSD or no?
I see that in itself is what we don't know, because just like Z was saying when I first came on, how expensive will that be? Right now, you can get a 2 terabyte SSD drive for about $300, $340. I just saw. I just bought a couple of terabyte drives for $79.
Yeah,
for a terabyte, right?
Hey Z,
so
pull up that link.
They're talking about they're talking about their memory
podcast assemble
being way more faster than the regular SSD that you can buy off the shelf. So it's not even like technically it's not even out yet. It's not available on PC.
PCs probably never get that technology. Like I've read up on the SSD as far as what they doing.
Yeah.
And the PCs probably never get that technology.
PS5 PC gaming on notice.
No, I'm talking about because the way that the SSD is set up, Sony is bypassing some of the security features on the SSD to get this stuff to work the way it works. But with PC, you won't be able to do that because some of the stuff they're doing, Sony is telling the SSD to account for this and to account for that. They can do that because they control the software that is being created with it. With a PC, you can't, because you can't anticipate
exactly. You gotta account for different.
What the end user, you can't. It did different, different configurations and different operating systems.
All right, I got
it's a very heavy OS.
I got the article.
It kind of in this article, it kind of breaks down the tech and what the patent is all about and what they doing with it. It's a good read for people that's into it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it says new patent reveals that Sony is using a customized SSD for the PlayStation 5, better read-write speeds and faster loading times. Now listen, now both. This is what I'm asking, right? You the techiest nigga I know right now, flat earther. Nigga so smart, you can tell you the world ain't even, is flat, right? But anyway, check it out, right? So with the rumored leak specs, what quote from the Xbox Anaconda, right? And what Microsoft's doing or trying to attempt, is it a comparable solution to what Sony's offering? That's basically what I'm asking, nigga.
No, I don't know if Microsoft is doing this. And
I'm saying, you see the specs that you put up in the chat.
I put that in there because I knew it was going to generate conversation, but some of that stuff is off. The teraflops and things is off, so that kind of dukes out the specs. But in terms of power, Microsoft might exceed Sony in power, but what Sony is doing with the SSD might trump what Microsoft is doing in power. Honestly, I'm not going to leave a lie, because
being able to hit a button and have your game already loaded in less than a second, being able to go from stage to stage with zero loading time. That's never fucking been done.
Okay, hold on.
That kind of redoing
can you read the bills?
I get it. I see. I see. It's actually came up big as hell on my screen. My man Brian Mason, shout out to you, good brother. He said, "What if the graphics are better on the next Xbox, but games load systemically faster on the PlayStation 5 proprietary drive? Do you think that would be a big deciding factor for some gamers? For the casuals, I think they will probably go with the graphics. You know what I mean? What's And here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this, and get these guys' opinion not to get too long-winded. We got caught up in the whole resolution thing. You know what I mean? And maybe we can all agree that. Again, I always say that resolution don't give you better graphics; it gives you a sharper image. Graphics are not the textures and the goddamn shaders, right?
Yeah.
What you think? Does it say if the Anaconda has better graphics, right? But Sony shit load faster. You think it'd be a huge?
Here's
That's gonna be the debate. Yeah, your game look good, but why you look
loading games is real world performance.
Oh shit, Kratos!
That's gonna be the new argument. Yeah, your game look good, but mine's load faster. Which
yesterday
better graphics or faster game?
Listen, yesterday it was me, Nethos, Noah, and a couple other people, right? We were playing Dauntless on some on the PC and some on the X.
Yeah.
In order to load that game, even on PC, man, it took you a good 5 minutes to get that shit loaded where you can actually play. You tell me hitting a button on my PS5 and having that already at the load screen ready to go, that is a significantly more.
But Jay, that's a different story, though. That's a Sony first party game. But Jay, that's a Sony first party game. They designed it for that.
Exactly. So imagine Gran Turismo. Imagine Spider-Man 2. Imagine Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Like that is something. If Sony plans on tackling next generation, not with just high end graphics in resolution, right? But if they're looking to tackle that and making it mainstream, where you hit a button and your game is already loaded.
Okay,
that's
what you're saying.
Listen. I'm pretty sure on that conference when they were showing the Spider-Man, they were showing Red Dead Redemption, and it was 5 seconds faster with that hard drive. Not every game's gonna load in 1 second.
Listen. They use that as an example. 8 seconds versus less than 1 second.
No,
that's
but
an example.
it's an SSD.
But imagine an open world.
Game like Assassin's Creed with
Days Gone,
or even Assassin's Creed with them huge load times.
2 minutes to load, and you sitting there waiting like fuck this shit forever. Imagine eliminating that completely, where it takes 5 seconds instead of 20.
I see what Sean's saying, but I think
it's not going to be that much, does it?
Well, it's knocking down the time by percentage. It's not necessarily who develops the game. All of it is going to be run through the SSD. It's just knocking it down by percentage, which is still impressive. So
yeah. No, I understand that, but don't expect every game to load in 1 second.
And address Z's concern, man. I don't think the entire game is going to be installed on that SSD. It's going to cache.
It's going to cache.
Certain part of the game to the SSD that's needed at the time.
That's what I was telling them, because that's what I heard Microsoft does too. That's why they have this.
You know what? No, ain't nobody trying to listen to Noah. Ain't nobody trying to listen to Noah. Noah, you full of shit, Noah. I'm putting your skirt up. Noah was just in the chat. Noah was in the chat, and he said that game y'all was playing was working flawlessly. But J-Dub just said that it took 5 minutes to load up. Now, what's
user error? User error, fuck nigga.
Now, Jay, have you seen the new specs what Z was talking about? I mean, MM2K were talking about the Xbox.
With the Lockheart one or the Anaconda?
No, the Anaconda one. Like it's got 256 SSD, with 2 terabyte.
Listen,
the price don't though.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what that sounds like to me. That sounds like a bunch of motherfuckers sitting around talking about building a PC. That's what that sounds like. That doesn't sound like any one of the engineers are creating this. That sounds like off the shelf parts. They already do that in some laptops and in some desktops where they have the hybrid drives, where you have the standard platter drive with a certain small amount of SSD memory on there to kind of help cache. But that shit is way slower than going all out SSD.
Hold on 1 second. My man Keith Stevens said, "Can you please tell them that the PS5
you guys ass kicked?"
He said, "We'll have a NVMe SSD on the motherboard on a hard drive, so you can use the plug-in external drive too." That's you talking about the PS5.
Yeah, you can have a USB-C type device. There's enough bandwidth there to feed over. I do think they're still going to allow for the external hard drives to be used. Maybe they only allow SSDs only. Maybe you can't go and just buy the cheap drives for $40 or whatever to get 8 terabytes. Maybe those won't be allowed because it's too slow.
Yeah, it's too early to say, man.
Yeah, we don't know, but we also know that Sony has patented this particular thing, so it's not like Microsoft. I mean, right now, to tell you the truth, these systems, the specs, everything are already finalized. It's already done. Microsoft can't go back. They can't go back to the design phase and say, okay, well, adding this. Let's design and make our own type shit. They can't.
You're right, but it seems like they got something specific from
McNeil J.
Samsung
Chris, he
themselves.
checking in from the flat Earth, man. What's going on, McNeil? Hold up. Damn, I'm trying to play this goddamn game, man. I want to bring up this last little thing here I have about those specs. Now, according to the what do you call it, the Maverick, whatever the case. Basically, from what I've heard, also that the Anaconda or the Maverick will be a souped-up, what do you call it, quote-unquote, Xbox One X. You know what I mean? Instead of 4K and maybe upscale to 4K, you can get 60. You know what I mean? The X is a decent system, but even the X and the Pro have dog shit CPUs, and they looking at selling that shit there at $300. You know what I mean? You're still gonna get next generation graphics, but at $300. You know what I mean? The graphics are gonna be better on that than it is the X, and that may be a huge selling point to some. $300.
But what is the other system gonna do then, Z? If they got one system, the lower end system targeting 4K, then what is the other system gonna do?
No, the lower model, the entry model.
No, but that's what I'm saying. How different is technically the X
I heard
is a so-called 4K system as it is. So you're gonna bring out another
one's
system
about
that
getting
does
60
that.
frames per second. That's what the X fails at.
It does, but isn't that what the Anaconda?
And then with the CPU, you're gonna like games like Dead Rising that has the horde.
It's gonna be hard to quantify that.
You know what I'm saying?
Be honest, I get what J-Lo said. The marketing, like, how are they gonna market this console?
You're gonna say we'll sell you this 4K system, but we'll also say this one does 4K better.
Here's the thing.
The other 4K. That's dumb as fuck.
Here's the thing. This don't with me. They had to do away with the X, right? X go away, right? No more.
You think they're gonna do away with it?
You don't need it.
They just brought it out, Z, a year and
no, they're gonna keep the X. No, Mike Ybarra said that they're gonna still support the X.
Well, to me, you still got games gonna come up, but I don't see them still selling the X, the S. Like somebody got to go. That's just too much fucking hard.
Yeah.
They just brought out the Xbox One SAD literally weeks ago, Z.
Bro,
how?
They go.
Bro, that was a mistake.
They don't really care about us. That's why they put that shit out there.
Hey yo, but I'm saying here's the thing, right? Now for the X, this is how you can sell the X. I mean the Anaconda, right? Comparing the graphics. As long as it upscale to 4K or whatever the fuck the case may be, like the S. But again, comparing the graphically, we can't resolution, but graphics also look better graphically, and you're getting 60 frames a second. You know what I mean? It looks better graphically than your X. I don't think they have a problem getting $200 for it. Real talk.
Xbox is full of nothing but multi-plats. How are they going to sell you Red Dead for one on the X versus Red Dead on the the mid-tier system, the Lockheart or whatever, and then Red Dead on the Anaconda?
Jay's on his shit. He said that X ain't nothing but full of multiplats. Like it's gonna be that way the next generation.
Come on, it is. Phil is not backtracking on that whole. They don't care about exclusives.
Sony doesn't either.
I'm gonna answer that for you, right?
That's
and again, they can't depend on third party. Microsoft has to go out there. They have to they're exclusives. Have to again we haven't gotten that with the X. I think Gears of War 5 outside of Forza will probably be their first exclusive. They truly take advantage of the hardware. Their exclusives are going to have to talk. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's the only way. But you know what I mean? And of course, and the X, I'm sorry, the Lockheart, whatever the fuck it's called, when it's supposed to have updated chips and that tech, you can do more with less. Or how the fuck that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So maybe that would be.
Z, Forza Horizon, right now it already runs at 4K 60. What is the difference going to be from Forza Horizon 4 or let's say 5 running on the X at 4K 60 and the one running on Lockheart and the one running on Anaconda? It's not going to be it's not going to be $500-$600 difference among the two just to tell people, hey, this looks
1080p 60.
Hold on, that's not true. It can be. Because think about this, right? For them to hit 4K 60, they got to turn settings down to medium, turn down shadows, all of this extra stuff. The difference is not going to be 4K 60.
We play that. We play that game on our PC, max, ultra, everything. That shit is not that big of a leap above the Xbox One X already. Trust me, they don't turn the settings down that bad on that game. Yeah, it's a beautiful game,
but the resolution's way down. Like it's 1080p 60 to get it there.
What on the
4K 60? Yeah, on the X. It's 1080 60.
4K30.
And 4K30.
Okay.
Motorsports 4K 60.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, and that team they can do crazy shit with power.
Go to the Lockhart, right? You go to the Lockhart. Okay, bam. It has a better CPU. Now you're able to hit 60 frames. Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is,
so what's the difference between the Lockhart and the Anaconda then?
Because the Lockhart is supposed to be 1080p 60.
Yeah, like the resolution is not gonna be much higher.
You can't sell me 4K uncompromised this generation.
But Kratos, that's not the market they're going
1080p next
for.
generation.
They're going for
also
the
try to
cheapo
bump me
market.
back up to 4K.
Yeah, but they're going for the cheapo market with that.
Kratos, you remember Z said to you that there's some people who just got an Xbox 360? They're trying to say, all right, everybody come into the new generation. You don't want to spend $500? That's fine. We got a console for you.
But that means the X part, they need to drop the Xbox One X price down.
I think they're gonna basically stop selling that shit.
But you see, that's
Nethos, that would be dumb for them to stop selling the Xbox One X when they can just drop the price down to $199.
Because the Xbox One X can't keep up because of the weak CPU.
Yeah, I think
here's what they should do.
I'm praying that they got this all settled, because for me as a gamer looking out, it's gonna be hard as fuck for you to try to send me 3 systems and try to explain how.
Hey, motherfucker, you're the one who sells your X every other week.
You out here like Neverland with 5 pallets of Xbox One X's you stole off the Walmart.
Yeah, but you say you're in our DMs. Look, I sold my X again, guys.
Now, to Mike Ybarra's hold on, let me say this real quick. To Mike Ybarra's point, I think Microsoft is backtracking on that. I think they are going to not support the X past like 2 or 3 years next
They're
gen.
going to support it like how they did the 360, right? Like they're going to get some games, but then it's going to be forgotten about.
It's going to get phased. I think it's going to get phased out with some of the newer games because of the CPU. When Mike Ybarra was asked about the whole 4 compatibility thing, he likened the Xbox One X to what Nethos just said, how they supported the 360. So to Z's point, I think they are going to phase out the X.
Definite.
Moss,
it came out of your Ybarra's mouth. It came out of your Ybarra's mouth.
Yeah, which is a fail because it just came out, but yeah.
He said it himself.
You know about UWP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turns out, rumor has it that they're about to walk back UWP and go back to Win32.
UWP, our homie Jez Gordon, our best friend in the world, had let us know that Microsoft has walked back on how they said of how effective they said UWP was going to be. They said they're going to some other implementation or UWP 2.0 or something like that. But UWP has not been the success that they expected.
UWP was a fail for console gamers.
Great
for PC dudes.
Mm-hmm.
It really was for I think it was for both because. First of all, console gamers didn't really get that many games from the PC.
They didn't get anything.
At least not any of the big. No, we got games, just not any of the big ones. But then the way the games came to it was like PlayStation got them too. So it was like, well, what did you need the UWP for? And then, so it's like I don't know.
Another marketing term that they sold you with hopes and dreams.
No, that shit just made it easier for PC players to get the Xbox games.
Exactly.
Microsoft too often gets like our homie D-Bash. Big up to D. They tell us shit that they want to do. But it's not been fully vetted, and it's still in flight as an industry term. It ain't ready to come out the oven yet. And then we get all excited, and then when they pull it out of the oven, the motherfucker's flat. It's like, womp womp.
But this is the thing with Jay. I agree with Jay. This E3, obviously, when it comes to the Lockheart and the Anaconda, they got to make the message like proper clear. So people understand what is the difference. Why would I get this system over that system?
I don't think they will do that because I think they came out. Who was it? Mikey? One of them. Somebody had said, "Do people have trouble knowing which cell phone they want to buy?" You know what I mean? I don't think they're gonna do anything. They're just gonna put it out there.
Yeah, just think about like the iPhone XR and iPhone XS, just like that.
No, I don't know, but E3 is 2 goddamn weeks away. Any predictions we can tell? Any predictions we can tell about it?
Yo, Jay, when you going?
I'll be there, man. I don't know. I'm gonna go the day before.
The day before.
The day before.
The day before.
Gonna be there Saturday?
We got things to work on behind the scenes. The day before.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, we got some shit going on behind the scenes. But I tell you, here's what that bat makes. You wake up in the bat cave, so you gonna know.
Yeah, we gonna do predictions already?
Yeah, I mean, might as well.
Might as well. Shit.
We're gonna get some
right now. I'm hitting record right now. Anything you say today, and can we use it?
Now?
With prediction. It's 2 weeks away.
Who's going first?
Oh shit!
Hey, I'll go first.
Youngest goes first. Youngest.
Oh shit!
Nah. All you ponies step to the side. Y'all ain't got an E3, so y'all wait in the back.
My prediction is Microsoft will walk away, smiling, beating their chest, and you guys will walk away crying, talking about wait to
next generation,
wait to E3.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to be a realist on this situation. I hope Microsoft comes out and knock it out the park. Here's the thing: the only thing that I have to go with is about 6 years worth of previous, E3s to go on, and then the Inside Xbox, and then the Gamescom, and then all of these different shows.
Tokyo Game Show.
Nothing that they've shown me within those 6 years that say we are ready to knock it out the park. The only thing, the difference is you have no competition sharing the same stage with you. That's all it is. I thoroughly believe they're obviously going to show some gameplay of Gears. They might show you some trailer of Halo Infinite, but that shit isn't coming for another couple of years. I think we need to put our expectations in check. They'll show you some.
I know, yeah. They said Halo.
They're going to show you some games that the new studios that they acquired that they were already working on. But those games don't necessarily have Microsoft's DNA in them because those games were damn near finished.
Yo, Microsoft DNA been fucked up this generation. Good
game. Say that. Multiplayer to all those games.
It don't have that Xbox template on it yet. So those games may actually turn out to be good.
That might be a
But here's my fear for E3, right? And I'm gonna be honest.
Microsoft comes out already.
They show you their third-party marketed games. They show you Gears, Halo, Forza. With the games that we expect, we may even get a trailer for Fable or something like that. And then after they do that, Sony comes out, gives you the release date for The Last of Us 2. It gives you a demo for Death Stranding, or it gives you some shit that takes your mind off of what Microsoft just talked about. And I think that's very plausible. That just may happen. Sony's very petty when it comes to taking the attention away from Xbox and putting it on their own thing.
As they should.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you can be.
I agree, but
any predictions from you, Sean?
Me, well, we know studio announcements are going to be coming.
Studios, okay. You predicting more LLCs, more requirements? I mean, by Microsoft.
Oh yes.
Okay.
At least three. I reckon at least 3 studios announcements.
Okay.
We know the basics. Forget Gears. Forget the Halos. We all know them games are coming.
Okay.
Like I said before, I know it's a bit of a funny one, but I love to see a new Fight Night. I know it's an EA game, but I love to see a new Fight Night on the stage.
Okay, but hold that thought, my man McNeil J. Chris. I'm with you. He said Microsoft don't come with something new or something fresh. No remakes or revive. It's an L. I agree and disagree with it, and I'll tell you why. But again, because they make you a total reboot like they did Sony did with God of War, but Fable. And I'm crossing my finger on that. But anyway, get finished. So you said some new studios. You want to see a new Fight Night on stage, which would be dope. Man, the first Fight Night premiered on Microsoft stage, so that would be kind of dope, iconic. Not the one for 360, rather Fight Night. So that's it.
I'm looking forward to like the Perfect Dark, like you said before, over the shoulder. A new take on that game. That looks interesting. That does look interesting to me, to be honest, as well. And we know the rest. It's unpredictable at the moment because I can say Banjo-Kazooie, I can say this and that, but it's a bit difficult at the moment. What game's going to be coming?
No, Banjo-Kazooie.
Hey, hold up.
No, I'm just saying.
Pay the bill.
I'm going to shout out my brother, Ravenflow. Long time no see, Ravenflow. Hey, Ravenflow, man, tell Port Rock I love him. I'm a fuck nigga, though. I just told him to earlier. But anyway, Ravenflow said, you can only take attention from your competition if your product is better. That's not Sony being petty. That's called reality. I agree with that. All right. No, okay, Sean. All right. You're done. Fuck that. Neff, what you got going on?
Let's go.
Yeah, what you got, Neff?
So, I want to say Microsoft goes and kills it, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm an Xbox fan. But I gotta be real with you. I think the show is probably going to be borderline mediocre to maybe like a B. Like maybe it'll get an 8. I think they're going to go in, they're going to show you Halo Infinite off the bat, and they'll be like, Holiday 2020. Cool. Maybe they'll say some crazy shit like the multiplayer will be free to play, because that's what dealer said. You know what? I can believe that shit. Maybe they'll say it'll be more of a services model. Who knows? I think it's going to be a decent campaign, though. They're going to show you some gears, and then they're going to go and talk about that new generation of gaming. So we're used to our old mindset of, Xbox, and then now the PC gets games, but they're going to talk a lot about xCloud, how gamers are everywhere, and they're going to talk about their how they plan to put games anywhere where a gamer is, right? And maybe they'll have even some Nintendo Switch shit. Maybe they'll announce Ori and the Blind Forest, coming to Xbox here and also coming to the Nintendo Switch day and date. Who knows? You're going to get some shit like Battletoads. I don't give two fucks about Battletoads, but you're going to see that shit on stage. You will see Ninja Theory's new IP. That's going to be cool. But they're going to end the show with probably Fable.
Talk about something new.
All right.
They're going to end the show with Fable. I think that's it.
Okay, Most, any predictions?
All right, my predictions. Let me do this. I want to do what Microsoft needs to do. I'm going to say that real quick, and then I'm going to give my predictions.
And then hit you with reality.
Here's what Microsoft need to do. Microsoft need to show some type of concept art or whatever with Halo Infinite, and it needs to look fire. They also need to show gameplay of Gears 5. It needs to be fire. They also need to show 2 brand new IP in the form of concept art or whatever, or actual gameplay that looks fire for the hardcore that's exclusive to Microsoft's ecosystem. I'm not going to say console, but to their ecosystem. That's what they need to do. If they don't do that, then golly. Now, what I'm going to here goes my 2 predictions. On Microsoft's stage, I think either Nintendo or Sony are going to show up for some type of announcement. I'm going to make that prediction. Secondly, this is obsolete. Not obsolete, but off of Microsoft's stage. I think Netflix is going to come and they're going to announce their game streaming service there. They're not going to give a date yet, but they're going to announce their game streaming service. Those are my predictions.
All right, hold on. Shout out to McNeil J. Chris said it's funny hearing Nev talk about traditional gaming. This nigga first console purchase was an Xbox 360. God
no, what was it? NES. Surprisingly,
it was just late to the. He got his NES last year.
My motherfucker came with a keyboard and shit. That shit was bootleg.
he got his NES last Christmas.
For $20 off the street.
Maybe Lisa Sue will come on stage as well.
All right, hold on, fuck Lisa Sue. Hey, no, you there? You can talk?
Yeah.
All right, let me hear your predictions, bro.
Hey man, I'm gonna keep mine short and sweet, bro. We're gonna get a bunch of indies, a bunch of multiplats, and yeah.
All right.
They're all multiplats.
All right, hold up. Lamont, Jesus Man, John, you in here? Oh, I guess he ain't here. Javanis, prediction.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm here, man.
Oh, okay. LB, Jesus team. You got any? You would say you got any predictions for Microsoft's E3?
I don't even know what's going on. I just woke up.
I understand that. You just got up in a diabetic coma. I understand that. I'm asking you have any predictions for Microsoft's E3?
Oh, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be their biggest one yet. They're gonna show at least 3 new IPs. It's gonna be great.
Okay.
Did you give him the warning at least? You say canon will be used against you in a future show. Just letting you know.
All right.
No, what's going on here?
Okay. Hey, post up.
Hey, Post can come up with his shit.
Okay.
You know there is no podcast without Post on it, play. Let's go.
All right, so Post, any predictions for Microsoft E3 we get the hell up out of here?
Yeah, we're gonna get at least I see 2 to 3 new IPs, like LB said. We're gonna get about 2 to 3 new acquisitions. Studio acquisitions.
When you say 2 to 3 new IPs, are you talking about
Halo, Gears, and Forza?
No. I'm talking about new games.
New games.
Something we never heard of.
Come on now.
Something we never heard of. The reason why I say that is because Ninja Theory had 100 developers at the time that they made Hellblade. 20 of them created Hellblade by themselves. The other 80 was working on their game that supposedly be Ninja Blade. I don't know, because they have been working on the game for 6 years. Ninja Theory has been working on the game for 6 years. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be a 4-player co-op game. I don't know if that's Ninja Blade or it could be something else. They could show 2 games. I don't know. Then we have Obsidian. Obsidian was working on 2 projects at the time that Microsoft purchased them. We have the one that's we know about now that's going to be multi-platform, but we have the second one, which we don't know about, which was the one that the reason why Phil brought them was because of that game. So they could announce that. I don't expect to see a new IP from it in Exile. I do expect them to show like Wasteland and all their titles being ported over onto the X. Then you got Rare new title. Rare has been beefing up their studio. They are now at 300 developers. They have prior to Sea of Thieves coming out, they said they had multiple projects ahead in development. So we might.
I don't know about them.
No,
Rare hasn't been good since
Kratos. Mute yourself. Okay. So Rare.
Let me put it real quick. Shout out to my man from the Raven Flow. He said my money is on the children having the best show. And McNeil J. Chris, he called. He said Paul's about to holler 6 new IPs and 10 new studios.
Okay. So Rare. I'm telling you, Rare got multiple titles here. We might get a new title from him. I'm not looking for
new grab of the ghoulies
because Happy Fruit still got DLC packs, and they still have to make a Mac and a Linux version to that game. So I'm not looking for anything for them. Then you have Playground, which has a second studio that's supposed to be working on Fable. So I mean, it's a couple. That's why I said at least 2 to 3 that we don't know about. And then Bone Studios just announced that they're working on new projects as well. So
I got another prediction. Sheeta's going to walk on the stage too. So
Sheeta, being messy.
Oh shit,
being messy. All right.
Shaking hands.
What's his name? Hey, okay. Did everybody go? Who ain't go? Everybody went?
I ain't go.
I said Javanis.
All right. So first they're gonna start off by telling you which Japanese companies that they got partnerships with. Then they're gonna bring you Sea of Thieves DLC. Then they're gonna bring you Ori DLC. Then they're gonna bring you some other first party DLC. Then they're gonna give you a snippet of 2, maybe 3 games that they've been working on that are brand new, but then they're just gonna show you everything else. Gears, Forza, and then they might say, we've got blank Japanese developer who's bringing a game to us. Now I'm hoping with some exclusive content. Then they tell you about the new consoles or give you a teaser about the new consoles. Then they end it with one of their big partners like not Active. But no, not EA. The other one, that makes Fall.
That makes what?
Bethesda.
Oh, Bethesda.
Yeah. Then they got Bethesda come up on there, and Bethesda tells you something about one of their new games coming out.
Starfield or whatever. Yeah.
Then they're gonna finish it off with CD Projekt Red, and that's it.
Well, Bethesda.
Halo Infinite gonna get shown too.
Halo Infinite's gonna be the first game.
That's gonna be big. I just don't know what version.
Can I add to my prediction real quick?
I just don't know what version they're gonna show.
Listen,
it was a rumor that they were supposed. It was a rumor that they were supposed to show it at last year E3, but they pulled it because the quality looked so much better than everything they had showed, and they didn't want to.
That's the craziest excuse I've ever heard of. But wait, can I add to my prediction real quick?
Sure can.
Go for it.
I think they're gonna acquire the talented Asobo Studio, which made the great Connect Rush, a Disney Pixar game, Feel 2009, WALL-E, Toy Story 3. Connect, Disney, whatever, Ratatouille, Sitting Ducks for the Game Boy Advance. This sounds like a Microsoft studio.
This dude got all these games too.
You know what, Nathan? You know what, Nathan? You take your ass to the kitchen and drink a glass of milk.
Zoo Tycoon.
Nathan, take your ass to the kitchen and drink a glass of milk.
He got all them games too. He got them for Christmas, man.
I want to say mine also.
Hey, Z, do me a favor. Go ahead and Google Asobo Studio video game.
Hold on. I want to update mine too.
This sounds like a Microsoft acquisition.
Not first the last game they made.
They made a Plague Tale though. They made that.
Shut the fuck up then.
No shit.
Talk about Plague Tale.
I think they're gonna buy the studio that made Crackdown 3. That's my
that Plague Tale looks dope though. And it's graphically beautiful.
To Jay's point, Bethesda's not coming with any new IP. They already made that announcement. They're not showing up, so you ain't gonna see Bethesda on there.
They're working on Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
now. That's
and
the
Starfield,
all hands on deck. Yep.
They said
that shit is
Starfield
years away for next generation.
They still got to build
Like,
that new engine. bro.
J-Dubs, let me ask you something. What has the highest score Phantom Dust or Days Gone?
Oh shit!
I
Oh
don't
god
know.
damn!
Phantom Dust in original
What's the
assets.
force running in the back? Let's get out of here, bro.
They bring
Let's
they
get
bring
out of here,
Phantom
bro.
Dust back.
In original
No, no.
assets.
Yeah,
Original asset, and it's got a higher
Jay.
score. The Days Gone. J is gone.
the limo's running in the back. Let's get the fuck out of here, man. They on some fuck shit here. Man. Let's get out.
Oh shit!
I mean, I'm lost in the script. This makes me hard as hell. How the fuck get out of here? Okay, all right.
Hey,
Well, okay.
I hope Microsoft E3. I hope they knock it out the water, man. I hope they come with a bunch of new surprises. You know,
Calm down there, Post. Damn.
Post,
You talking about Microsoft E3 and Post are pretty hard.
Post like his hand.
My nose is where the mic at.
God damn, Post.
My bad.
Sound like you
Stop
got
getting
a-
aroused over
First, he
Microsoft
got
E3.
like you get his
My
hand
nose
in
was
his
where the
hand.
mic was. The mic was
Oh
where
yeah, you
my
might
nose
see
was.
Microsoft. You might see that.
He said he sound like he got his hand down his pants. Golly, that's what man. Z
No,
ain't
on the
saying
serious,
about shit.
on a serious note, Jay, just have a lot of fun, man. When you're over there, just as a gamer, just have fun, bro.
Oh, for sure. Always,
Jay, I done
bro,
already
always.
made the call. If they see you walking up to the theater, the Xbox gonna whoop your ass, brother. Don't get close. I made the call. I
Hey,
told
you
them
know-
how you look and everything. I'm
Hey,
telling you, they throwing controllers and everything. And you know we got enough of them too. We
Hey,
can't
G.
run out of those.
Hey, Jay, can you do us a huge favor? Can you call us and say I got in the fan fest? Just let us know. It's just
God damn, they're up in the chat that said because Post Up has decided to go give Phil a rusty trombone.
Look at Heath, aka Heathen. Fuck is you talking about?
Yeah, stupid.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
They on me already. I
You
just
sound like
popped
his
up on the
food
show
too
and-
hot.
I hope Microsoft at E3. I hope they
He got four
sort out
nostrils.
this-
God damn.
Oh, it's gonna be.
I
I'm
hope
telling
they
you
can sort
now.
out having three goddamn new systems on the market and price point and the performance point, because if not, it's going to confuse everybody and everybody's
What
just
you
going to say,
mean,
fuck
three
it, I'm going with the
I'm
PlayStation
thinking his
5.
danger area. God damn.
What three systems come from?
Well,
because they're going to have the Lockheart,
you got the Lockhart, and you got the
Anaconda.
Anaconda, and the Xbox One SAD. I mean, that shit just launched weeks ago. Let's not act like that didn't happen.
That shit, that was just a test, man.
Test for what? To see how many people would go buy it?
That's just a stream box test, man. To see how the
does
market,
Post Up?
to see how the
How
market
does that-
reacts to
how
it,
does
man.
that give you results
All that
based
stuff.
on-
Companies do that all the time, man. They test the market,
They
man.
say, okay, and
What you talking about, man?
They say,
Somebody can't say that with a straight face.
You need some milk.
They say in order for me to find out if people are ready to stream,
Laughing through the mic.
we're
You
gonna
can't
release.
say that with a straight face, man.
Shut up, boss. hey, boss, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why you do Puerto Rock legs like that on Twitter, man?
Bro.
You, Ethos, and King Soul King and other dudes. Why y'all beat that man legs up like that?
Because hey, yo, he's going to full panic, man. He going to full panic mode.
Yo, my notifications was bing, bing, bing. And I'm looking, I get to read, oh man, he ain't getting no help. Kratos wasn't no.
Hey, Post, he's having a
nowhere to be
meltdown.
found.
He's having a
Hey, Post, he's
meltdown,
having a
man.
meltdown in the DMs. He told me that he's
I
not going to renew his
wasn't-
PSN. He don't play online anyway.
I wasn't angry in my responses anyway. All I said was, look at this chart. Look at that one. That's all I did, man.
Yeah, man. Oh man, that chart he posted with the top 2 games.
Yeah, come
He
on.
doesn't understand that shit.
I say, man, and then he came and killed them with the numbers. Like, look, bro, just stop it, man. Just stop it, man.
Come home, John Rambo. Come home. Man. What would you
I'm
say,
not paying
Z?
for PSN anymore. Fuck that shit.
You took an L when y'all was back then when y'all tried to beat my legs up and y'all was so sure of that everything that's happening now wasn't gonna happen.
Post, you did the rope a dope.
Yeah, man. It went from it's not gonna happen to ain't nobody gonna do it. Ain't nobody gonna buy this. It's not gonna be successful in this and that.
But the good thing is,
it's just crazy, man.
at least
this whole time.
No, forget him. But at least the main King Pony has accepted it. J-Dub's accepted.
Man, they're gonna have to, man. Whether they want to or not, they're gonna have to. And guess what? when it come out, the same people who was unaccepting of it are
They're
gonna
gonna be
be
pushing
defending it. They're gonna be
Yep.
defending it. They're gonna go back in pony mode and say, "Look, we got this feature over here that's better than what you got over there."
Exactly.
You know?
Just like
And then
they would never pay for online.
yeah, the console war just is going to continue on, and we're going to be arguing over services and feature, and what games this service have versus what games that service have. What service making the most money? What service got the most subscribers and all that? That's what it's going to move to.
But
You know what I'm
Post,
saying?
let me ask you a serious question. I know we talked about this many times, but xCloud. Do you think we have to pay for it, or will it be part of our service, like Xbox Live Gold?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Now before you go into it, look at Netflix. The app is free, but obviously you pay for it.
I can see them. The only way I see it, is if Game Pass get moved into the cloud, which I think it is. I think it's still gonna. Yeah, I think everything goes into the cloud, and I think Game Pass Ultimate gets xCloud added to it. So you get access to xCloud, Xbox Live, and Game Pass for one subscription fee. At least I hope they do it like that.
Yeah.
I hope they don't make it separate.
But guys like us, we got Live, we got Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
It should be free for us.
Yeah, that's another thing. I think that it should. It's so many ways they can do it. I hope they can do it where they just add it to what you already pay and say, look, if you're an Xbox Live subscriber, you already have access to xCloud. If they do that, that'll be huge. That'll be huge. That'll be a big announcement if they say, if you're an Xbox Live member or Xbox Game Pass member, you already have access to xCloud.
Your games. Yeah.
But I don't think they're gonna do that. I think it's gonna be a subscription.
I can't see that post.
Hold on. AZ.
That's gonna be a fail.
AZ, I just got your text, bro. You fucked up.
Oh, you see that shit, yo?
It's crazy as hell, bro.
You homosexual?
It's a crazy dude.
You homosexual? Nah, I'm just go back and play the game.
Oh man, this dude is crazy, man.
Hey, yo, that's just on YouTube Gold right there, bro.
New video coming.
Hey, yo, that shit crazy, bro.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, that shit crazy. I'm trying to get the hell up. I'm lost in this goddamn crypt over these shit. I'm gonna get the hell up out of here. Did my shit close up behind me?
Yeah, I would say it's a fail then. If you had to pay for the app to get in.
From what I'm hearing, xCloud is free. It's
gonna be a storefront.
Yeah, but no, not even. You still gonna have whatever you buy, like out of your.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like storefront.
Whatever you buy, digitally, like you just to be like I can go from Xbox to Xbox and still have access to whatever my that I bought. That's all.
They need to make that message. Yeah, they need to make the message clear.
Oh, they haven't really made this. I guess at E3 they're going to explain it, but Google's not charging motherfuckers. I don't think so.
Google will coming up with some price or something next month.
Here's a question though. I wonder if they're going to for multiplayer. You know what I mean? That's going to be a win, especially if Google's not charging for multiplayer games online. 2Ks and all that shit for free, like on PC. That'd be a fucking win for them. You know what I mean? That'd be a straight fucking win.
Like I said, Z, there's a lot of information that needs to be, covered yet. So once we talk about it in the next 2 weeks, even with the consoles, Lockheart and Anaconda, they need to just let people know what exactly you're paying for.
Yeah, well, like I said, we can get to my prediction. We get the hell about it. My prediction is, bro, I'm gonna keep it funky, man. My expectation is very low. Microsoft and they didn't how you say they didn't rat me amok this whole since 2016. Microsoft been all over the place. I'm hoping again that they have a great show, go on and put on a good show. I just hope. Here's my wish and my hope. I hope that Microsoft don't hold their cards so close to their chest. You know what I mean? Giving us the gamers a glimpse in the peek into the future. That's what I'm hoping.
Right.
I'm expecting a lot of multi-plats on stage. I'm expecting Gears of War and Halo, and some announcements or something about the Anaconda or the Lockheart something. I don't think we're gonna see the box, but you know, we might get some numbers from specs.
What game would you like to see? Like I said, for me, I love to see a Fight Night game. What game would you love to see?
What game would I like to see?
Regardless of it's exclusive or not, just a game like you like to see.
My thing, here's the thing. I like a lot of multiplayer, but I want, as far as Microsoft, I'm hoping that I get some mature exclusive. I'm tired of this PG-13, Sea of Thieves, and games. I need some.
You don't even play Sea of Thieves. Fuck out of here.
I played that 33 minutes that I played. It was too much.
Nah, that shit fun. Nah, that shit off the Hey, Kratos and Noel. Hey, yo, we jumping on Sea of Thieves? Nah, these boys. Nah, look at that.
Yeah, man. But that's what I'm hoping, man. At the end of the day, you know what I mean. Yeah. Would I get that? I don't know. You know what I mean.
If they show the box, even better.
We ain't gonna see the box in probably the next.
We know not see the box. No.
They just gonna give you.
No, we're not gonna see the box.
They're gonna give you a stupid
2016,
die and then tell you some specs, and that's it.
Exactly what it did. Exactly what it did in 2016.
You know what I am excited for though? Square Enix, their show. I want to see that Avengers game. I can really care less about that Final Fantasy thing, but the Avengers game that they're working on. You know what I mean? That Crystal Dynamics been working on for the last 3-4 years.
I'm hoping W.
You hoping that what? His mic went out. You know what I mean? I don't know what the hell he's talking about. You probably see Warner Brothers on the stage with Microsoft showing off their DLC characters for this game here that I'm playing, Mortal Kombat. But yeah, that's it. That's as far as my predictions.
Yeah, Rocksteady Justice League or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
I just want them to announce that shit so I stop hearing a rumor every fucking other week.
I know.
It's gonna be Justice League. It's gonna be Suicide Squad. Like, that shit keeps changing.
It's pissing me off that. Yeah.
I hear that shit too. I heard Justice League, then I heard it was a new Batman. I heard it's Justice League.
I heard Suicide Squad. Superman.
Yeah, like goddamn, just announce it already.
Yeah, Parker. It's the WB Montreal. They're making the Batman game.
Yeah.
And Rocksteady. I'm not sure what they're making. That's the only, if it's Suicide or Justice League.
Rocksteady announced it's gonna be worth it. I know.
I wish they do an open world Justice League game. That would. Because you don't have all those characters and stuff, so they'll have to be open world.
The Flash running around the city.
That'd be crazy.
Man, they could never get the speed right. Hey, that last Superman game was nice though, except for the ending and the everything except the flying.
Yeah, by EA. I like that game.
Check the last Superman game.
Hey, that game was fire except for everything except the fight.
The one on the 360?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Man, I'm about to end the show right now. Hold on, man.
Please don't touch him the wrong way. I'm not playing the Superman game. Oh, hell no.
This show been going on too goddamn long. He just, man, Jesus. Hey, yo, man, thank y'all for coming out, man. How you say God bless you. And God bless you. Good night. I apologize for that last outburst, man.
That was a good game. I liked it.
Hey, what games are we playing? What we on tonight? What we playing?
Oh man.
What we playing? Shit, them quiet.
Come on, hey, don't.
You know they playing CFD.
Hey, Post, you off work or you still working?
No, I'm off. I'm gonna go pick up my mom's and my grandmother.
These motherfuckers is really playing Sea of Thieves, bro.
I thought you I'll come back. I'm off the next 3 days, though.
All right, but say no more. So what we on tonight then? Well, let me know. Y'all playing that game again? That dungeon game, or what we doing? I gotta download it.
I guess running some Dauntless, maybe. Some MK.
Parker, I'm on MK right now. Parker, bring your punk ass to the dojo right now.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you still got game Franklin?
It sound like a seal.
It sound like a seal. Trump mouth ass Parker.
That nigga sounded like a seal hopping for a biscuit.
That motherfucker like Scooby Doo.
Dog tree eating ass, boy.
Tilapia face ass motherfucker.
Yeah, mouth full of bark.
Catfish fish snout having ass.
Loose mouth ass. Hey yo, it said motherfucker Parker scaling fish with his bare hands. That nigga Parker man killing fish with his bare hands.
Hold the tail in his toes and shit.
Yeah, motherfucker hold that between his thing and skill it with his bare hands. He skill that bitch, man.
Getting knocked out like Brazil.
Yeah, say no more. Hey yo, remember that shit? Parker got mad at man. I said, man, fuck all that, man. I'm gonna knock man smooth the fuck out, man. But I'm gonna pay more money. Shit, man.
That nigga be out in the park punching tree bark. Oh, rough hands having ass, boy.
Hey, well, listen, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, we still on. You ain't
I know we were still live and shit. So all types of stuff today, bro.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen.
You gotta post up that text, bro. That shit is.
I'm gonna send the post right now. Hey, Post, I got your cell phone number.
Yeah, I think you do. I'll send it to you anyway.
What is it start with a 7?
Yeah.
Hold on. I think I got you right now. I'm about to send you something right now. Hold on, right quick.
Oh, this motherfucker.
What the fuck did you send me?
Yeah.
I thought the show was over. I look up, the chat still going.
Yeah, you know, I didn't know we were still on air, man.
Hold on. Can I add people to this right here?
That's what we do as soon as we go off air. We fuck with Parker and shit for about half an hour.
Yeah.
We're still live.
Wait, how do I add? I can't add people to the group, right? So I just have to do it like this, though.
I think you can.
I could.
I'm gonna send it to. Let me send it. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to Post Up. I'm gonna send it to Post Up.
You got Post number? You send the Post. Ain't gonna...
No, I was gonna put it in the DM.
Oh, hold on. Let's see.
I was gonna put it.
Wait, hold on. Hey, Post. Let's see. Do I get you on the Post Up? Post. 708 Post. That's you?
Yeah.
All right. Indian 03. Last 2 digits 03. Hello. Oh, damn, I don't have it.
There you go. I hit you now.
I said ended in 03?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm about to send you something. Oh, shit,
Graphic of Puerto Rock.
How was the game yesterday?
Uh-oh.
Your Neff?
What? What's going on?
I said, who made that graphic of Puerto Rock?
Oh, someone named Dunes. Like,
all right, look at your phone. You know, we got something cherry pick. We're gonna take this shit over to
Dunes 212.
Take this shit over.
How was the game, Neff? Dauntless.
It's pretty cool. And you know, the power of the Epic Store made crossplay possible.
Hey, yo, my man said, hey, Rainbow, yeah, we be bugging out, man. So $2 for the graphic of Puerto Rock. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna come right over. Actually, I'm gonna go right over right now. We're going over to Twitch. Same joke, same cast, man. We playing. What's the name of that goddamn game again? Gauntlet. What's the name of that goddamn game? Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Gauntlet at MK. Here goes my link right for my Twitch. So I'm literally going over right now. So come on over. We'll rock out with your boy.